Imagine looking in the mirror just 30 days from now and not even recognizing who's staring back. Not because your face has changed, but because your energy, your presence, your mindset, they've completely transformed. You stand taller, you think sharper, you respond instead of react. There's a calm power in your eyes that wasn't there before, and the people around you, they feel it too. Something about you is different, something unshakable. But let's be honest, how many times have you tried to change and slipped back into the same patterns? How many mornings have started with good intentions only to end with regret and frustration? How many times have you promised to be better, but life got in the way? The truth is, most people don't change because they keep waiting for motivation. But motivation is a liar. Real transformation begins with one decision: to train like a Stoic, to stop chasing comfort, to start choosing discomfort, intention, discipline, and reflection every single day. What you're about to learn isn't a list of self-help tricks. These are 15 ancient Stoic practices, raw, real, and rare. They are uncomfortable but powerful, simple but transformative. If you do them for just 1 month, you will not be the same person. Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually. So, if you're ready to stop living the same day on repeat, if you're ready to break the cycle and rewire the way you show up in this world, then say this out loud or write it in the comments right now. Starting today, I train like a Stoic. I will be unrecognizable. This isn't just a sentence. It's your new identity beginning to form. Repeat it, believe it, become it, because after the next 30 days, you're going to look back at who you used to be, and you won't want to go back. Number 1. Embrace daily discomfort on purpose. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort: a soft bed, a warm shower, a full belly, a cozy chair. But ask yourself this: has comfort ever made you stronger? Has it ever made you fearless? Has it ever prepared you for the storms that life throws without warning? No, comfort doesn't make warriors. Discomfort does. Every morning, before the world tells you what to do, choose your discomfort. Not as punishment, but as practice. Take a cold shower, not because you like it, but because it trains your nervous system not to flinch. Walk barefoot on rough ground, not because it's easy, but because it reminds you that pain is temporary and courage is permanent. Fast until noon, not to starve yourself, but to realize that hunger is just a signal, not a command. This is what the ancient Stoics did. Epictetus, born a slave, walked with a limp his whole life. Musonius Rufus, forced into exile again and again, yet never lost his composure. Why? Because they practiced hardship, voluntarily, daily. They didn't wait for suffering to show up at their door. They went out and met it. Not to suffer, but to prepare, because life, sooner or later, will test you. The question is, will you be ready? Will you crumble at the first sign of difficulty, or will you stand tall, already trained in the fire of your own will? This is not about being extreme. It's about being intentional. Just one act of chosen discomfort every morning. That's it. One moment where you push your edge, where you prove to your mind that you are in control, not your cravings, not your fears, not your need for ease. Most people wake up and immediately seek pleasure, coffee, scrolling, silence, warmth. But the Stoic wakes up and seeks strength. Here's what happens when you do this every day for 30 days. Discomfort becomes normal. And comfort? It loses its power. You stop being afraid of hard things. You stop complaining when life gets messy. You start walking through challenges with calm, with courage, with command. Think about it. If you train your body to handle the cold, then when the winds of stress hit you at work or in relationships, your mind stays steady. If you train yourself to fast, then when life withholds something from you, love, money, support, you don't fall apart. If you carry something heavy every morning, then when responsibilities weigh on you, your spirit doesn't break. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the gym for your character. So starting tomorrow, pick your pain, not randomly, but mindfully. Say to yourself, this moment is mine. I will train discomfort before it trains me. Maybe it's 10 push-ups on the cold floor. Maybe it's holding a plank for a minute longer than you want to. Maybe it's just taking the longer route to work on foot. It doesn't matter how big or small. What matters is that it's real, that it makes you uncomfortable, but stronger. And when it gets hard, and it will, don't say, this hurts. Say, this is training. Say it again and again, until your mind stops running and your soul steps forward. Because once you do this every day, you'll stop asking for an easier life. You'll start becoming the person who can handle any life. And that, right there, is when everything changes. Number 2, practice ego death in conversation. You know that moment when someone says something wrong, completely wrong, and your whole body wants to correct them. Your mouth starts to open. Your heart starts to race. You feel that pull. I have to say something. I have to be right. But, do you? Let's tell the truth. Most arguments aren't about truth. They're about ego. They're about proving, showing, protecting. And even when we win the argument, what do we really gain? A bruised relationship? A wasted hour? A tension that lingers in the air like smoke? The Stoics saw this trap clearly. Epictetus once said that it's better to keep your peace than to win the point. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." These men weren't passive, they were powerful, but their power didn't come from domination. It came from detachment. And that's what this practice is about. Letting go of the need to be right. Just once a day, choose to let someone else have the last word, even when they're wrong, especially when they're wrong. Not because you agree, not because you've given up, but because your peace is more valuable than your pride. This is ego death in motion, and it's harder than it sounds. Because the ego doesn't go quietly. It fights, it whispers in your ear. They'll think you're weak. They'll think you don't know. They'll think they won. But the truth is, the strongest person in the room is the one who doesn't need to prove it. The most confident soul is the one who can stay silent and still know who they are. Try it today. When someone makes a snide remark, don't bite. When someone talks over you, let them. When someone explains something you already know, nod and listen. Not because they're right, but because you are free. Free from the need to be seen, free from the addiction to winning, free from the trap of ego. And what you'll notice is this: the less you fight for your ego, the more peace you feel in your body. Conversations become lighter. Your chest stops tightening. Your mind stops rehearsing comebacks. You stop carrying around the weight of every argument you should have won. This is not weakness. This is discipline. It's saying, I don't need to defend myself today. I know who I am. And little by little, you rise above the noise. People start to feel something different in you, a kind of stillness, a kind of quiet strength, a kind of depth that doesn't come from knowing more, but from needing less. You start becoming someone others trust, not because you always speak, but because you know when not to. That's what ego death gives you: serenity, humility, space. So try it every day. Let someone else have the last word. Then breathe, smile, walk away without tension in your spine. You don't need to be right every time. You just need to be unbothered. And that, right there, is the mark of someone who's becoming unrecognizable in the best possible way. Number 3. Take the view from above before sleep. Before you close your eyes tonight, before you drift off into sleep and carry the weight of your day into your dreams, do this. Zoom out. Start in your room. Picture yourself lying there, in that one bed, in that one moment. Now rise a little higher. See your house from above. You're one small figure inside a structure of bricks and beams. Then go higher still, your street, your neighborhood. All the lights, all the people, each wrapped in their own worries and routines. Keep going. Your city, your country, the shape of continents, the curve of the planet. And then, space. Now you're looking at Earth itself, spinning quietly, floating in the dark. No sound, no urgency, no noise, just the small, silent blue world, your home, rotating with perfect indifference to your fears, your plans, your arguments, your bank account, your missed messages, your career path, your Instagram likes, your to-do list, your shame, your pride, everything small. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced almost every night. He called it the cosmic perspective. Because when you see life from above, from way above, something magical happens. Your problems shrink. Your mind settles. Your breath deepens. You remember what actually matters and what doesn't. You realize how much time is wasted worrying about things that won't even be remembered in a week, let alone in 1,000 years. You realize how many arguments, fears, and doubts are just dust in the grand story of the universe. You realize that all you are and all you have is this moment. And that's enough. The Stoics weren't cold philosophers. They were warm souls seeking peace in a world full of chaos. And they understood that peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from seeing everything clearly, from zooming out. And this isn't just some poetic bedtime exercise. This changes your brain. Science has shown that when you shift your focus to something bigger than yourself, your stress hormones drop. Your emotional system resets. Your nervous system calms down. It's like tucking your soul into bed. So tonight, before you fall asleep, don't scroll, don't analyze, don't overthink. Just lie down, close your eyes, and rise. Rise above your body, above your day, above your story. Let yourself feel small, not in a way that shrinks you, but in a way that frees you. Because when you realize how vast this life is, how wide the world is, how ancient the stars are, the drama of today loses its grip. You stop clenching, you stop chasing, you stop needing so much. You just rest. And in that resting, you grow, not by force, but by perspective. This is how you end your day like a Stoic. Not with regret, not with noise, but with awe. So tonight, try it. Rise above, let go, and sleep with the stars watching over you. Because once you start seeing life from above, you stop being controlled by what's beneath you. Number 4, plan your month in reverse. Most people create their calendars with lists of things to do: meetings, goals, workouts, habits, appointments, tasks. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the Stoic path is different. It doesn't just ask, what will you do? It asks something much deeper. What will you refuse to become? This is reverse calendar planning. Instead of planning what to chase, you decide what to avoid. Instead of focusing on how to get more done, you focus on how to stay undisturbed, unshaken, and unmoved by the noise of the world. Because let's be honest, most of our suffering doesn't come from not doing enough. It comes from reacting to everything, overthinking, over-explaining, chasing approval, drowning in gossip, saying yes when we mean no, checking our phones every 3 minutes hoping for validation. These aren't productivity problems, these are identity leaks. So here's your task. Take out your calendar. Look at the month ahead. And for each week, write down what you will not do, not as a punishment, but as protection. Write things like, avoid defending yourself to people who don't listen. Avoid gossip, even if everyone else is doing it. Avoid explaining your vision to people who've already decided not to understand. Avoid reacting to passive-aggressive messages. Avoid chasing attention when silence would serve better. Avoid doing things just to feel busy. Avoid comparing your progress to someone else's highlight reel. This is powerful because it shifts your focus. Instead of trying to become someone by adding more, you become someone by removing what doesn't belong. The Stoics weren't obsessed with doing more, they were obsessed with doing less, but better. Less noise, less ego, less drama, less reacting, more presence, more peace. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still asked himself daily, "What am I doing that I don't need to be doing?" Epictetus taught his students to withdraw from unnecessary entanglements and choose silence over struggle. Why? Because clarity doesn't come from piling on. It comes from subtracting the things that cloud your mind. Try this every Sunday. Look at the week ahead. Ask yourself not just what needs doing, but what needs avoiding. Not just what's urgent, but what's unworthy. Ask, what kind of person do I refuse to become this week? And let that shape your choices. When you do this long enough, your calendar starts to look different. Quieter, cleaner, sharper. You're not just busy, you're intentional. You're not just reacting, you're directing. And the best part? You feel lighter, because you're no longer carrying the weight of what doesn't matter. Reverse planning doesn't make you lazy, it makes you precise. It turns you into someone who doesn't waste energy on the petty. Someone who doesn't drain themselves explaining or defending. Someone who stops letting the world decide what deserves your focus. That kind of person becomes unrecognizable because in a world addicted to doing more, you will stand out by doing less and being infinitely more. Number 5. Eat one meal each day in complete silence. No scrolling, no music, no talking. No distractions, just you, your food, and your awareness. That's it. Sounds simple, right? But wait until you try it. You'll feel the urge to reach for your phone. You'll think of something to check, a song to play, a thought to share, anything to fill the quiet. Because silence makes most people uncomfortable. But that discomfort, that's where the transformation begins. The Stoics believe that attention is the seed of wisdom. If you can't sit with your own thoughts over a simple meal, how will you sit with discomfort, conflict, or deep reflection? If you can't eat in silence, how will you ever listen to what your life is trying to tell you? This practice is not about food, it's about presence, it's about self-awareness, it's about taking back control from the noise that rules your day. So choose one meal, any meal, every day, and turn it into a ritual of silence. Sit down, put your phone away, turn everything off. No stimulation, just sit with the food and pay attention. Notice the colors, the texture, the flavors, the temperature, the chewing, the swallowing, the breath in between bites, the thoughts that come up when you can't distract yourself, the feelings that surface when there's nowhere to run. This is where you meet yourself, not the busy version of you, not the social version, but the real version, the one beneath all the noise. Most people eat for comfort, or out of boredom, or stress, or habit, rarely out of presence. But when you remove the noise, something powerful happens. You start to feel again. You start to listen. You begin to eat only what your body needs. You slow down. You chew with care. You stop before you're stuffed. You begin to notice which foods energize you and which ones drain you. You begin to know yourself. And there's something else. It sharpens your ability to be present in the rest of life. The same focus you build at the table follows you into conversations, work, relationships. You stop half listening. You stop living on autopilot. You stop needing constant entertainment to feel alive. And over time, you change. You become more centered, more grounded, more aware. People notice it. You say less, but what you say carries weight. You seem calmer, clearer, more in control. Not because you're trying to be, but because you've trained your attention like a blade. One silent meal a day. That's it. Not a diet, not a productivity hack, a sacred pause. The Stoics weren't just about big philosophies. They were about small, repeated disciplines that change the shape of a life. Silence is one of them, and food is a perfect place to begin. So today, try it. Just once. Sit down. No screens, no words, just you and the moment. Let the silence speak. Because when you can sit in silence without needing to escape it, you're not just feeding your body anymore, you're feeding your soul. Number 6, show silent gratitude to those who test you. It's easy to be grateful when things go right, when someone is kind, when life flows smoothly, when people praise you, support you, understand you. But that's not where true growth happens. True growth starts when things go wrong, when someone frustrates you, mocks you, insults you, interrupts you, misunderstands you. That's the real test, and that's the moment when a Stoic doesn't lash out. They say thank you, not out loud, not with sarcasm, but quietly in a private notebook. One sentence, one sacred practice. Thank you for the opportunity to train my patience. It sounds strange at first. Thank someone who disrespected me. Be grateful for someone who made my day harder. Why would I do that? Because the Stoic sees life differently. The Stoic understands that enemies are instructors, that difficult people are mirrors, that every insult, every annoyance, every emotional jab is a gift, an invitation to train. Train what? Patience, control, humility, stillness, the exact qualities that make someone unbreakable. Think about it. What shakes you the most? Is it the delay in traffic, the rude tone from a coworker, the passive-aggressive comment from someone close to you? These aren't accidents. These are weights sent to the gym of your soul. You can curse them, or you can lift them. The Stoic lifts. So every time someone frustrates you today, don't react. Don't retaliate. Instead, hold your response. Breathe. Then later, open your notebook and write just one line of gratitude. Not to fake it, not to deny your feelings, but to redirect them. Because once you train your brain to associate discomfort with growth, you become impossible to offend. That's the goal. Not to live in a world without problems, but to become the kind of person who doesn't fall apart when they appear. The kind of person who thanks difficulty instead of fleeing from it. This isn't about weakness, it's about control. It's easy to snap, easy to complain, easy to gossip, but it takes strength to stay calm. It takes wisdom to thank the very person who challenges your peace and use that challenge to grow deeper into it. Do this for 30 days. Every time someone gets under your skin, write their gift to you. Thank you for the opportunity to practice forgiveness. Thank you for showing me where I still react. Thank you for helping me test my ego. Thank you for sharpening my discipline. Thank you for reminding me that I still have work to do. This will change your posture. You'll stop walking around braced for conflict. You'll stop overthinking every interaction. You'll stop taking everything personally, because you'll realize it's all just training. Every critic, every interruption, every rejection, all fuel, all feedback, all fire, forging the stronger version of you. So the next time someone annoys you, don't flare up, don't shut down. Just say this silently, thank you, and keep walking, calm, composed, unshaken. Because when your enemies become your teachers, you rise above both. Number 7. Purge the false identities you've been living inside. Stop and think for a second. How many times have you said something like this? I'm not good with people. I've always been anxious. I'm just not disciplined. I'm bad with money. I'm not a morning person. I've never been confident. These aren't just words. These are prisons. Each one is a quiet identity you've chosen to wear, maybe without realizing it. And every time you repeat it, even silently, it wraps tighter around your life. Not because it's true, but because your mind believes what you tell it over and over again. This is why the Stoics didn't just train thoughts, they trained identity. Epictetus said we are disturbed not by things, but by our views of things. And the most dangerous view is not of the world, it's of ourselves. So today, you're going to do something that will feel strange, maybe even emotional. You're going to purge the old you. Set aside 30 quiet minutes. Grab a pen, sit down with honesty, and write. Every label you've carried that limits you, every role you've clung to that causes you pain, every story you've been telling yourself that keeps you small, get it out. No filters, no shame, just truth. Write, I'm bad at relationships. I always mess things up. I need people to like me. I'll never be successful. I'm just not lucky. I'm not strong enough. I don't deserve more. Empty your mind onto the page, let the poison rise to the surface, and then burn it. Yes, burn it, or delete it, rip it, destroy it, symbolically, completely, and without hesitation. Because those identities are not facts. They're stories, and stories can be rewritten. The Stoics believed suffering comes not just from what we face, but from what we believe we are in the face of it. If you believe you're fragile, life will break you. If you believe you're powerless, you won't fight. If you believe you're small, you'll never step into your real strength. But once you strip away those old labels, something amazing happens. You start to feel clearer, lighter, freer, like someone just handed you the pen to your own life again. Now, don't misunderstand. This doesn't mean you suddenly become perfect. It means you stop being chained by lies. It means you stop saying things that keep you stuck. It means you begin to choose who you become, instead of repeating who you've been told you are. This isn't about pretending. It's about reclaiming. You're not here to be a collection of excuses wrapped in insecurity. You're here to grow, to evolve, to rise above the identities that were never truly yours. So purge them, all of them. And when the page is empty, sit in the silence that remains. In that silence is the real you, unlabeled, unafraid, untamed. And from that silence, speak something new, one phrase, one identity. Say it softly. I am not my past. I am becoming my future. Repeat it every day and let it guide you forward. Because the moment you burn the false labels, you stop living as a character and start living as the author. Number 8. Practice the living statue drill every day. For 1 hour, just one, become something ancient, something calm, something still. Move slowly, speak less, breathe deeply. Imagine you're being observed by the gods or by your highest self. Imagine every movement, every glance, every breath is part of a sacred performance. You are the statue come alive, but barely. This isn't performance for attention. This is performance for presence. It might sound odd at first, maybe even theatrical, but this was a real practice, borrowed from the ancient Cynics and embraced by Stoics. Why? Because it trains stillness in a world that worships speed. It teaches composure in a world addicted to noise. It turns your entire body into a tool for mastery. We live fast, we talk fast, we react without thinking, we rush through moments without living inside them. The result? We become chaotic inside. Our nerves are fried. Our minds jump from one worry to the next. We get triggered easily, offended easily, exhausted constantly. The Stoic? The Stoic slows it all down. Pick any hour of the day. Morning, lunch, afternoon, doesn't matter. But during that hour, become a living statue. Walk with grace. Speak only when necessary. Keep your face soft and your breath calm. Hold yourself upright. Eyes steady. Posture noble. Don't rush. Don't fidget. Don't chase noise. Be still. And here's what you'll notice. The world will shift. People will respond to you differently. Some will become quieter around you. Some won't know why, but they'll feel your energy. Your calmness becomes a signal. It says, I'm not in a hurry. I am in control. Even more importantly, you will feel different, more grounded, less reactive, more aware of your body, more aware of your emotions before they explode. You'll catch the urge to interrupt, the twitch to argue, the habit to scroll, and let it pass. You won't need to control every situation anymore, because you're finally controlling yourself. This drill builds something rare, energetic discipline. You're not just practicing silence, you're becoming a presence. And that presence begins to reshape how you live, even outside the hour. You become harder to provoke, less easy to shake, more thoughtful in your words, more intentional in your decisions. It's like strength training, but for your soul. And if you do this every day for 30 days, your transformation won't need to be announced. People will feel it. Without knowing why, they'll sense something has shifted. You're calmer, quieter, more powerful in your restraint. Because when you train stillness on the outside, you gain power on the inside. So tomorrow, try it. 1 hour. Move with purpose. Speak only when needed. Stay aware of every breath. You are a living statue, not frozen, but composed. And remember, in a world of speed, stillness is a superpower. Use it wisely, and you will become unrecognizable. Number 9. End each day by writing your one-sentence legacy. Before you go to sleep tonight, after the noise of the day has quieted down, ask yourself one powerful question. If I died tonight, let them say I was today. Then fill in the blank. Just one sentence, one line, one moment of truth. This isn't about fear. It's not about being morbid. It's about clarity. It's about direction. It's about choosing who you are becoming on purpose. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and one of the most powerful men in history, wrote often about death, not to depress himself, but to sharpen his focus. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. He understood something most people ignore, that death isn't the enemy. Distraction is. Most people live on autopilot. Days blur together, weeks vanish, months disappear. And then suddenly we wake up and wonder why we still feel empty. The Stoic doesn't wait for a crisis to find meaning. The Stoic creates meaning every single day. So here's what you do. Each evening before sleep, grab a notebook or open your notes app. Reflect on the day, not just what you did, but how you showed up. Then complete this one sentence. If I died tonight, let them say I was honest today. If I died tonight, let them say I was patient today. If I died tonight, let them say I was kind today. If I died tonight, let them say I was fearless today. If I died tonight, let them say I was present today. It only takes 1 minute, but it forces you to see yourself clearly, not your plans, not your goals, not your intentions, your actions. Because that's what legacy is, not the dream of who you hope to become, but the truth of how you lived today. And once you do this daily, something begins to shift. You start living forward. You start acting in alignment with the kind of person you want to be remembered as. You stop wasting time on petty arguments. You stop saying things you don't mean. You stop putting off what matters. Instead, you wake up with purpose and end the day with reflection. It's not about perfection. Some days you'll write, if I died tonight, let them say I tried to be better today. And that's okay. That's the point. The power isn't in the sentence, it's in the honesty. Because when you look at your day through the lens of legacy, your excuses fade, your ego softens, your values rise, and little by little, day by day, sentence by sentence, you become the person worth remembering. So tonight, don't scroll until you fall asleep. Don't carry the weight of the day into your dreams. Pause, breathe, reflect. Write your legacy in one line. Because one day, that sentence won't be practice, it'll be real, and you'll want to know that you lived like it mattered. Number 10. Disrupt your inner narrative with one powerful phrase. This is training. Your mind is always telling a story, quietly, constantly. Every situation, every delay, every inconvenience, it wraps it in meaning. The traffic jam, this is unfair. The rude customer, why me? The unexpected expense, just my luck. The emotional meltdown, I can't take this anymore. And just like that, without even noticing, you start living like a victim in your own life, as if the world is attacking you, as if life owes you comfort, as if every challenge is a punishment. But what if it's not? What if every single moment, especially the annoying, painful, chaotic ones, wasn't personal sabotage, but personalized training? This is the shift, the Stoic shift, and it begins with 4 words. This is training. Say it when you're stuck in traffic. Say it when someone cuts you off mid-sentence. Say it when your plans fall apart. Say it when your heart feels heavy for no clear reason. This is training. And watch what happens. The emotion doesn't disappear, but it softens. Your posture straightens. Your breath returns. Your mind clicks into gear, not panic, not pity, but purpose. You stop resisting reality and you start responding to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He didn't just mean big life obstacles, he meant the daily ones, the tiny frustrations, the invisible annoyances. These are your gym, these are your weights, these are your drills. Flat tire? This is training. Criticism at work? This is training. Didn't sleep well? This is training. Someone misunderstands you? This is training. Everything feels off today? This is training. It's all part of the curriculum. And when you view life this way, you stop needing it to be easy. You stop waiting for the perfect day to show up fully. You stop crumbling under pressure and start rising inside it. This isn't about being fake positive, it's about being purposeful. You're not denying the discomfort, you're assigning it value. And this matters because the story you tell yourself is the life you live. Complain in your mind and the world becomes unbearable. Train your mind and the world becomes your dojo. So, starting now, make this phrase your mental default. Write it on your mirror. Set it as your phone background. Whisper it when your nerves spike. Shout it silently when everything goes wrong. This is training. Because it is. Life isn't trying to break you, it's trying to build you. And the faster you realize that, the faster you grow. So catch your next complaint, interrupt it, replace it, and let your life become what it was always meant to be. Not easy, but meaningful. Not perfect, but powerful. Not soft, but sculpted. This is training. Live like it. Number 11. Fast from one emotion once a week. Every week, pick one emotion that owns you, not just visits you, but controls you. The one that shows up the fastest, speaks the loudest, and lingers the longest. Maybe it's irritation. Maybe it's envy. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's the need to be liked. Maybe it's that sudden flash of anger when things don't go your way. Pick it, name it, and then fast from it. Just like you would with food. But this time, instead of sugar or caffeine, you're cutting off your addiction to that emotion for 24 hours. This isn't suppression. You're not pretending it doesn't exist. You're just choosing to observe it instead of indulge it. You're saying, I see you, I hear you, but I'm not feeding you today. That's it. The Stoics understood that most people aren't enslaved by events, but by their emotional reactions to those events. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them." And most of those judgments are fueled by habits we don't even know we have. So when you fast from an emotion, you're breaking the automatic loop. You're rewiring the space between trigger and reaction. You're putting your hands back on the steering wheel of your nervous system. Let's say you choose irritation. Every time it rises, someone talks too loudly, something takes longer than expected, a plan changes. Just pause, breathe, watch it rise, but don't act on it. Don't speak through it. Don't let it write the script. Just watch. Or maybe it's envy. Every time you see someone's life looking shinier than yours, notice the sting. But don't follow it. Don't scroll. Don't spiral. Don't start the "why not me" narrative. Just breathe. Observe. Release. Or anxiety. Every time your chest tightens or your mind jumps ahead into worst-case scenarios, catch it. Label it. But don't feed it. You don't need to solve it. You just need to stop reinforcing it. Here's what happens when you do this once a week. Your mind slows down. Your nervous system starts to trust you again. You begin to separate you from your emotions. And that is freedom. You realize you can have anger without being angry. You can feel anxiety without becoming anxious. You can witness envy without becoming bitter. You stop identifying with every emotion that passes through you and instead start treating them like weather, real, present, but temporary. And with each emotional fast, you build a kind of invisible armor, not coldness, not detachment, but control, calm, clarity. This is emotional sobriety. This is what power looks like on the inside. So once a week, choose your fast. Announce it to yourself. And when the emotion rises, meet it with awareness, not reaction. Because the Stoic doesn't run from emotion. The Stoic trains it, shapes it, owns it. And that kind of mastery doesn't shout. It just walks through storms without getting wet. Number 12. Begin each morning as if you're living on borrowed time. The alarm rings. Another day begins. And for most people, the mind immediately starts racing. What needs to be done? What went wrong yesterday? What they're dreading today? It's a routine, a loop, a kind of sleepwalking with eyes open, but not the Stoic. The Stoic begins the day with a simple sentence that changes everything. This day is a gift I didn't earn. Say it out loud. Whisper it before your feet hit the floor. Feel the weight of it, not heavy, but sacred. Because it's true. You didn't earn this day. No one promised it. No contract was signed. You were not guaranteed this breath, this sunrise, this beating heart. And yet, here it is, given to you, undeserved, precious, unrepeatable. The Stoics called this memento mori, remembering death. Not to be dark, not to be grim, but to be awake, because nothing sharpens gratitude like the realization that time is slipping away, and nothing deepens presence like knowing that nothing is guaranteed. When you live like this day is borrowed, everything changes. You walk slower, not because you're lazy, but because you're alive. You notice the color of the sky, the way your coffee smells, the sound of your child's voice, the curve of a smile from a stranger. Small things become sacred again. You speak more carefully, not in fear, but in reverence. You pause before complaining. You stop gossip before it leaves your mouth. You compliment more. You hold back less kindness. You forgive easier. You realize grudges are ridiculous when time is limited. You stop needing to be right. You start needing to be real. You stop putting things off. You call the person you've been avoiding. You start the book. You take the walk. You say, I love you, without the armor. You choose courage over delay, because borrowed time waits for no one. This is how the Stoic lives, not with dread, but with depth, not with fear, but with fire. And here's the strange thing. The more you live like you're dying, the more alive you become. The more vivid everything feels, the more grateful you are, the more radiant your presence becomes to everyone around you. People will start to ask, what changed? Why do you seem so calm, so present, so alive? And you won't need to explain, because the truth will be written in how you carry yourself, in the way you treat every hour like gold, in the way your eyes meet the moment without needing to rush past it. So tomorrow morning, before you do anything, stop, breathe, say it again. This day is a gift I didn't earn. And then live like it. because you don't know how many more you'll get. And that's not a reason to fear. It's the greatest reason to fully show up. Number 13. Practice role reversal empathy once a day. Someone frustrates you. They speak sharply. They ignore your effort. They interrupt you, judge you, disappoint you. Your first instinct? Defend, blame, push back, maybe even get even. That's the natural reaction. Fight to reclaim your place, your pride, your power. But the Stoic doesn't react naturally. The Stoic responds intentionally. And one of the most powerful responses is also the rarest: empathy. Not surface-level empathy. Not a polite smile or forced, "it's okay." True empathy. Role reversal empathy. Here's how it works. Once a day, when someone tests your patience, don't just brush it off. Don't pretend you're above it. Instead, go deeper. Stop. Breathe. Then mentally switch places with them. Step into their shoes. Live in their skin for 1 minute. Imagine their stress, their fears, their regrets, their pressure, their fatigue. Ask, what kind of pain could lead to that tone? What kind of fear might hide behind that arrogance? What pressure might be distorting their peace? This doesn't excuse poor behavior. It explains it. It doesn't justify mistreatment. It just frees you from becoming bitter. Epictetus taught that we must not be surprised by others' behavior, but understand it. He believed that once we see people not as villains, but as fellow travelers struggling through life's weight, we stop needing revenge, we stop needing control, and most importantly, we protect our own peace. Try this today. When the barista gets your order wrong and seems annoyed, pause. Maybe they're on their 3rd shift in a row. Maybe they just lost someone. Maybe they're holding back tears. When a coworker speaks over you in a meeting, pause. Maybe they're drowning in insecurity. Maybe no one listens to them at home. Maybe they just don't know another way to feel heard. When a loved one shuts down or lashes out, pause. Maybe they're afraid. Maybe they don't have the tools to say what they really feel. Maybe they're battling something you can't see. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to tolerate abuse. You don't even have to say anything. But in that quiet moment of mental role reversal, you become soft-hearted without becoming weak. You release the weight of needing to control them, fix them, or punish them. You return to your center. And over time, something profound happens. Your heart gets stronger. Your mind grows quieter. You stop wasting energy on judgments. You stop burning fuel on frustration. You become the one who walks through conflict calm. Not because you're passive, but because you've practiced perspective. That's what Stoicism teaches. Power isn't just how loud you can be. It's how deeply you can understand without being pulled off course. So today, pick one moment, one interaction, and reverse roles. Because once you do, you stop being the victim of someone else's chaos and start becoming the master of your own. Number 14. Keep a daily loss ledger without self-pity. Every day something is lost. Maybe it's time, wasted in traffic, distracted by your phone. Maybe it's money, an unexpected bill, a poor decision, a bad investment. Maybe it's mood, anxiety that clouded your joy, anger that hijacked your peace. Maybe it's energy, drained by someone else's drama or your own overthinking. We lose things constantly. That's part of being alive. But the real damage doesn't come from the loss. It comes from how we interpret the loss. Most people attach meaning too quickly. This shouldn't have happened. Life is unfair. Why does this always happen to me? And just like that, a simple event becomes a deep emotional wound. We build stories around it. We blame others. We beat ourselves up. We carry the weight longer than we need to. The Stoics saw this pattern and broke it. They didn't mourn every loss. They acknowledged it, not with cold detachment, but with calm clarity. They understood a powerful truth. Life is not theft. Life is loan. Nothing you have is truly yours. Not your time, not your possessions, not even the people you love. Everything is on loan, from the universe, from fate, from time itself. And one day, it will be returned. Not because you did something wrong, but because that's the rule of the game. So, here's the practice. Start a loss ledger. Every evening, write down one thing you lost that day. Just one. And write it without emotion, without blame, without drama. Just the fact of it. Lost 45 minutes scrolling. Lost my temper for 30 seconds. Lost $40 on an unnecessary purchase. Lost focus in the afternoon. Lost an opportunity to speak my mind. Don't judge it. Just log it. This isn't about punishment. It's about awareness. You're not dwelling. You're documenting. You're learning. Because once you see what you're losing each day, you begin to live with more care, more precision, more reverence for the things you often take for granted. And here's the secret benefit. You become strangely calm. Loss stops feeling like betrayal. It starts to feel like life doing what life always does. Take back what it temporarily gave. You'll feel the change within a few weeks. You won't panic when plans shift. You won't spiral when someone leaves. You won't freeze when money disappears or mistakes are made. You'll breathe. You'll write it down. You'll move forward. Because you've trained yourself not to cling. The Stoics didn't ask for a world without loss. They trained for a mindset that could hold loss without collapsing. That's what this ledger builds, not coldness, but emotional maturity. So tonight, start with one line. One truth, one moment of release. And if it hurts, let it hurt. But don't let it own you. Write it, acknowledge it, close the book, sleep in peace. Because once you understand that life is not a possession but a permission, you stop resisting the flow and start moving with it. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Number 15. Lock in your future identity with one daily signature act. There's a version of you that only exists in your mind right now. The version that wakes up early and clear-headed. The version that speaks calmly under pressure. The version that leads with purpose, walks with presence, and doesn't flinch when life throws punches. The version you want to become. Not someday, but now. But here's the truth. You don't become that version by wishing. You become it by doing one thing over and over again until it becomes non-negotiable. This is the daily signature act. One small, deliberate behavior you perform every single day. Not for results, not for motivation, not for show, but as a ritual to say, this is who I am becoming. It could be a long walk at dawn when the world is still sleeping and your mind is clearest. It could be a short, cold shower where you train your body to obey when comfort says no. It could be sitting in silence with your journal, pouring out your thoughts with honesty. It could be writing a letter to your future child or your future self. It could be waking up without hitting snooze, no negotiation, no excuses. It doesn't matter what the act is. What matters is that you choose it on purpose, and you repeat it without fail, because repetition locks identity. And identity changes everything. The Stoics knew this. They didn't wait for a new version of themselves to show up out of nowhere. They lived it every day. Epictetus practiced restraint in speech daily. Marcus Aurelius wrote meditations to himself every morning. Musonius Rufus trained in hardship repeatedly because he knew habits carve the soul. Your signature act becomes your anchor. It's the non-negotiable that tells your nervous system, I don't care how the day goes. This is who I am now. It's your vow to the future, renewed every 24 hours. And here's what's wild. When done consistently, that one act begins to ripple. You start organizing your life around it. You start protecting it like it matters, because it does. You start noticing how you stand differently, speak differently, think differently, not because you're trying, but because you've already decided. One act, one decision, every day. Even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Because those are the days that shape you the most. You don't need a full transformation plan. You need one lock-in ritual, one act of discipline that burns the old story and births the new one. One commitment that says, I am already becoming who I said I'd be. So today, pick your act, define it, honor it, protect it. Perform it with seriousness, with presence, with pride. Because once you do this for 30 days straight, the old version of you won't just fade. It will feel like a stranger. And the person in the mirror? You'll recognize them, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to become. You don't need a year. You don't need to wait for motivation. You need 30 days of discipline, honesty, and ancient wisdom applied with modern intensity. These 15 Stoic practices aren't tips. They're tools for soul transformation. They sharpen your mind, harden your spirit, and soften your ego all at once. Wake up with purpose, train discomfort, starve your triggers, practice silence, burn the false self. One habit at a time, one day at a time, you begin to rise. Not louder, not flashier, just deeper, more grounded, more focused, more unshakable. After 30 days, the results won't scream, but they'll radiate. You'll walk differently, think differently. People won't be able to explain what changed in you, but they'll feel it, and so will you. Now tell us in the comments, which of the 15 Stoic habits are you committing to first? Say it out loud. Lock it in. Let this be the day the old version of you loses its grip. And if this message lit a fire inside you, hit that subscribe button now, because this is just the beginning. The new you isn't coming. It's being built. We live in a world constantly filled with distractions and persistent worries, making it incredibly easy to slip into the snare of overthinking. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, reminded us of a timeless truth. The power over our minds lies within us. Although we cannot influence external events, we do have complete control over how we respond to them and how we process them internally. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I kindly ask you to support this work by subscribing and liking this video. That simple act helps me continue to create more content like this in the future. Stay with us until the very end, because the final tip in this video about overcoming analysis paralysis will challenge you to deeply reflect on your life so far. Walk with us through this message and discover a truth that could shift the way you see your own journey. The common struggle of having a noisy, restless mind filled with endless thoughts is something we all encounter at some point. The frustration of feeling caught in an infinite loop of mental chatter, paralyzed by indecision and overwhelmed by constant evaluation. These are burdens many of us carry. The issue with excessive thinking is that it locks us into a continual state of worry, constantly pulling us into the past or launching us forward into future anxieties, preventing us from being fully present. We find ourselves stuck in a mental spiral that blocks clear decision-making and robs us of inner peace. If you're searching for ways to break this exhausting cycle and reclaim your mental space, you're in the right place. Discover how to regulate your emotions and unlock your true inner power with our ebook, The Power of the Mind. Click on the link in the first pinned comment to get your copy today. Let's begin with the first step. Change your perspective toward gratitude. Our minds often lead us astray, pushing us into a maze of over-analysis about what we lack, what might go wrong, or what we have yet to achieve. This endless loop can leave us drained and discontent. Overthinking frequently grows from a mindset focused on what's missing or negative, which overshadows the good already present in our lives. Seneca once said that true happiness lies in embracing the present moment without anxiously waiting for what's to come. This Stoic gem encourages us to shift from a perspective of scarcity to one of abundance. The practice of gratitude invites us to recognize the value in the now, to see the blessings that are already with us, blessings we often overlook when we are preoccupied with worrying about the future. Practicing gratitude draws us out of the ruts in our minds and grounds us in the rich soil of the present, where life truly unfolds. To adopt this shift in focus, start by acknowledging 3 things each day that you are genuinely thankful for. They don't need to be grand. A warm cup of coffee, the soft comfort of your favorite sweater, or a thoughtful message from a friend, all of these qualify. This small, consistent practice helps redirect the mind away from over-analysis and toward appreciation for what is currently in your life. When anchored in gratitude, you begin to quiet the mental noise of excessive thought, while also deepening your appreciation for everyday experiences. Gratitude enhances the positives in life and gradually transforms your inner dialogue from one of lack to one of abundance. Over time, this new way of seeing things can reshape how you approach life's challenges, turning them into occasions to be even more thankful for what is already good in your world. This shift isn't just about feeling better in the present, it's about building a foundation of inner contentment that can carry you through the inevitable highs and lows of life. Next, embrace impermanence and the art of letting go. Let's be honest, our minds often get stuck in loops, replaying past mistakes or fixating on what might happen next. This mental playground of excessive thought is where ideas become clingy and overstay their welcome. It's a struggle that doesn't discriminate. Whether you're a student stressed over exams, a professional anxious about a big presentation, or simply someone trying to fall asleep while your mind races, the challenge is real. But even in this mental chaos, we can find solace in the wisdom of Epicurus, who once said that a man who fears death will never do anything meaningful while he's alive. Though it might sound intense, at its core, this quote speaks to the essential Stoic idea of impermanence. Everything changes, including those thoughts that seem to have built a permanent home in our heads. Often we treat our thoughts as if they are fixed parts of who we are, as if they are unchangeable. But Stoicism gently reminds us that nothing is truly permanent, not even the thoughts that weigh us down. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging that we don't need to hold on so tightly. We can learn to watch thoughts pass like leaves floating down a river or clouds moving through the sky, constantly shifting, never staying the same. Accepting impermanence means understanding that our thoughts come and go. They are not eternal. This realization can be a powerful source of hope, especially when you feel stuck in the depths of overthinking. Embracing impermanence in a practical way means forming the habit of letting go, cleansing the mind of thoughts that no longer serve us. This practice not only offers immediate relief, but also plants a deeper awareness that change is natural and necessary. Incorporating this awareness into your daily routine can radically transform your relationship with your thoughts. The goal isn't to forcibly evict them, but to allow them to leave when their time is up. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. It's a bold choice to stop letting unnecessary thoughts take up space in your mind for free. As you become more skilled at this practice, you'll begin to notice a quiet, clear space within you, a peacefulness that has always been there, simply hidden beneath the noise. Embracing impermanence isn't just another tool, it's a shift toward a calmer, more present way of living. And finally, remember to stay with us through the end of this journey. The last insight will invite you to deeply reflect on your life so far and open your heart to a shift that could redefine how you see your path ahead. This realization can offer a sense of relief and hope when you find yourself caught in a web of overthinking. To embrace impermanence in practice is to develop the habit of letting go. It's a form of mental decluttering, a conscious act of releasing the thoughts that no longer serve us. You can begin this process by visualizing a river, imagining each thought as a leaf floating on the surface of the water, gently drifting away. Or perhaps see them as clouds, constantly shifting, forming, and then disappearing. This kind of imagery not only brings immediate calm, but also fosters a deeper understanding. The true nature of thought is transitory. Integrating this practice into your daily life can gradually reshape the way you relate to your thoughts. It's not about forcibly pushing them away, but rather allowing them to pass naturally. Letting go is not a sign of weakness or surrender. It's an act of courage. It shows that you are choosing not to let repetitive, unhelpful thoughts occupy your mental space without permission. As you get better at this, you'll begin to notice a newfound clarity, a peaceful mental space that was always within you, hidden beneath the noise of excessive thinking. Embracing impermanence isn't just a technique, it's a shift toward a more peaceful, grounded way of living in the present moment. Focus on the effort, not on the outcome. Overthinking often stems from the mind's constant dance with the future, its potential results, its risks, and its relentless possibilities for failure and disappointment. This kind of forward projection can freeze us in fear as we become consumed with the what-ifs and the consequences of our actions, rather than focusing on the actions themselves. We live in a world that is heavily result-oriented, where the ends frequently justify the means. This can lead us to believe that if success isn't guaranteed, then the effort isn't worth it. However, a powerful quote from Epicurus offers a clear directive. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Stoicism teaches us to focus our energy on our intentions and efforts rather than outcomes, because outcomes are often beyond our control. This doesn't mean we shouldn't have goals or dreams, but it emphasizes that the true worth lies in how we pursue them, the quality of our efforts, the sincerity of our actions, and the virtue with which we walk our path. Whenever you find yourself caught in the loop of overthinking about possible results, try redirecting your thoughts to the effort itself. Ask yourself, am I giving my best? Am I acting with integrity? Am I staying aligned with my core values? This mindset is all about being present in the process, showing up fully, doing the work, and knowing that's where your responsibility ends. Focusing on effort can liberate us from the burden of over-analyzing. It allows us to live in the moment and give our best without the looming pressure of future uncertainties clouding our experience. This change in mindset transforms every action from being merely a step toward a goal into a reflection of your character and dedication. When you shift your focus in this way, your journey ceases to be just a path to a destination and becomes a meaningful expression of living with purpose, where every step is a success in itself. These 3 strategies open the door to new insights. They help unlock hidden inner strength, build resilience, and equip you to navigate life's complexities with greater balance and perspective. Take control by redirecting your energy. Have you ever noticed yourself spiraling into a mental storm of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, repeating the same worries over and over until you're completely drained? It feels like having 100 browser tabs open in your mind, each one blasting a different video at full volume, and there's no way to turn it off. This chaotic mental state is a hallmark of modern life, where the constant pressure to keep up with everything can trap us in a never-ending cycle of overthinking. But just as a cluttered desk needs tidying up, so does a cluttered mind. Redirecting your mental energy isn't just about achieving peace. It's about regaining control and quieting the endless noise of possibilities so you can actually experience the present. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, expressed this wisdom beautifully when he said that true happiness lies in enjoying the present without anxious dependence on what the future might bring. This timeless advice becomes a guiding principle for regaining control by shifting your focus. Start by anchoring yourself in the present. Choose a single task, no matter how small, and commit your energy fully to completing it. This deliberate change in focus pulls you out of the whirlpool of what might happen and roots you in the only moment that's truly real, right now. The practice is simple, yet deeply impactful. Engage in something that requires your complete attention. It could be as basic as cleaning your workspace or taking a brisk walk. These small acts, when done with full presence, become powerful tools to refocus your mind and reclaim your mental space. These acts are grounded in the present. They don't belong to tomorrow or yesterday. By syncing your thoughts with what you're actively doing, you aren't merely distracting yourself. You're reclaiming control over where your mental energy flows. Remember, Stoicism is not about suppressing your thoughts. It's about learning to manage them. When you consciously choose where to place your mental focus, you're practicing a form of inner discipline. The aim isn't to completely banish overthinking. That would be an unrealistic goal. Instead, the purpose is to notice when your thoughts are no longer serving you and to equip yourself with the tools to gently redirect them. This is much like training a muscle. The more consistently you exercise this redirection, the stronger and more resilient you become. Over time, you'll find that the once overwhelming flood of excessive thoughts can, in fact, be tamed through deliberate action and a grounded presence in the here and now. Picture your overthinking as something external to you, like a force that doesn't originate from your core self, but instead looms in your mind like a thick fog on an otherwise bright and sunny day. It might begin with a single concern or thought, but it quickly expands, spreading across your mental landscape like a sudden storm. In our modern world, we are endlessly bombarded by information, like hail pelting down during that storm, and our minds become flooded with questions like, what if? What now? Or what could have been? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. This timeless wisdom introduces a powerful technique for managing overthinking, visualizing it as something outside yourself. This isn't about making your thoughts into enemies, but rather acknowledging that intrusive thoughts are not your essence. They are visitors, temporary and separate from your true identity. Imagine these thoughts as clouds drifting past a majestic mountain. You are that mountain, steadfast and unmoving, while the clouds pass by without changing who you are. How do you protect yourself from these mental intruders? Stoicism encourages us to observe them without becoming emotionally entangled. You might picture these thoughts inside a bubble and watch them float away from you. This mental exercise doesn't just lighten your mental load, it also strengthens your understanding that thoughts are fleeting. They only gain the power to disrupt your peace if you choose to hold on to them and grant them that authority. Practicing this form of visualization builds a mental reflex that helps you release these thoughts before they escalate into emotional storms. As you become more skilled at distinguishing yourself from the chaos of excessive thinking, it gets easier to recognize that you are not merely the sum of your thoughts. This awareness acts like a protective shield, like wearing earplugs in a loud, crowded place. It's a deliberate and continuous effort, one that strengthens with consistent practice. When you find yourself slipping back into overthinking, pause and visualize that thought as nothing more than noise, detached from your core self. Doing this isn't just a way to defend against mental clutter, it's a declaration that you're reclaiming your mental space and your inner peace step by step. Every time you apply this technique, you're enhancing your ability to stay calm and rooted, even amidst internal chaos. It's a reminder that you can find serenity, not by eliminating thoughts, but by changing your relationship with them. Stay connected with us on our Stoic Daily accounts on TikTok, YouTube, and other social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more wisdom. Another powerful method to manage overthinking is to create a designated worry period. Worrying is part of the human experience. These concerns often linger at the back of our minds, like the constant hum of a refrigerator, sometimes barely noticeable, yet always present. Such worries can hijack your thoughts at any time, when you're trying to work, spending time with friends, or attempting to fall asleep. It feels as though your mind is a stage, and worries are uninvited actors barging in without warning. But let's reflect on this bold insight from Epictetus, the Stoic teacher. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. At first glance, this may seem unrelated, but it's a courageous call to prioritize your inner peace over the fear of appearing naive or complacent. Creating a worry period is a strategic move. It gives your worries their moment on the stage, but only during a planned encore, not the main performance. Set aside a specific time each day, maybe 20 minutes in the afternoon, when you allow yourself to focus completely on your worries. During this window, dive into those concerns, examine them, trace their roots, write down what's truly bothering you. Ask yourself, how likely are these scenarios? What actions can I take, if any? This focused session often reveals that many of your fears are like shadows, large in appearance but lacking substance. By confronting them intentionally, you strip them of their power. They lose the ability to lurk in the background, stealing your peace when you least expect it. Practicing this technique doesn't mean you give in to worry. It means you take control of when and how it enters your life. And with each passing day, as you consciously engage with your thoughts rather than letting them run rampant, you become more capable of navigating life with clarity, strength, and calm. Engaging in this deliberate practice helps train your mind to understand that there is a designated moment to worry, and that moment is not supposed to span across your entire day. When the set time for worrying is over, you move on with your day. You've acknowledged your concerns, given them a space to breathe, and now it's time to let them go. By compartmentalizing your worries this way, you reclaim control over your time and energy. The aim is not to eliminate worry altogether, that would be an unrealistic goal, but to contain it, thus minimizing its influence over your daily life. This method is like tidying up your mental space. It's about organizing your thoughts, placing each one where it belongs, and enjoying the serenity that comes with a clutter-free inner world. Often, you'll find that these concerns lose their intensity once they're not allowed to wander unchecked. Life begins to feel a bit lighter, a bit more bearable, and even more enjoyable. When overwhelmed by a storm of thoughts, break them down into manageable actions. Overwhelming thoughts can hit like an emotional avalanche, making us feel as if we're carrying the weight of a boulder on our backs. Our problems seem to carry the weight of the world, and we find ourselves buried under the thick fog of our own minds. This experience isn't unique to you. It's a shared part of being human, and it's intensified by the modern world's constant demands to excel in every area: work, relationships, personal development, and social image. This relentless pressure can leave us paralyzed by fear and indecision. But there's a way through. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound idea serves as the foundation for a vital technique, converting overwhelming thoughts into clear, actionable steps. When your mind is entangled with a massive worry or a complicated issue, don't try to solve it all at once. Instead, break it into smaller, doable tasks. Ask yourself, what is the next step I can take? Not the 10th, not the 5th, just the very next one. It might seem minor, but it's incredibly effective. By focusing on this one step, you redirect your energy from anxiety into productive motion. It's like working out a huge knot, loosening it strand by strand. This doesn't mean ignoring the complexity of your problems. It means tackling them with purpose, precision, and patience. Every small action builds momentum, and as you move forward, you'll look back and realize that what once felt like an immovable boulder is now just a collection of small pebbles. You've progressed, one step at a time. This approach cultivates patience, endurance, and faith in your ability to deal with difficulties. What once seemed impossible becomes something you've already moved past. Overthinking transforms into clarity and a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes, the key to escaping the maze of overthinking lies beyond yourself. Seeking wisdom outside your own mind is essential when you feel trapped in an endless spiral of thoughts. Often, our minds become so tangled that every attempt to think our way out only deepens the confusion. We try to solve the puzzle with the very thoughts that caused the problem, only to find ourselves stuck in a loop. This is the true essence of overthinking. A mental cycle that begins and ends within your own thought patterns, rarely offering clarity or escape. A wise man once gave his friend powerful advice. In all things, especially when they concern your own issues, Seek counsel from others because your own self-love can cloud your judgment. Simple yet profound, this insight reminds us that outside perspectives can serve as a guiding light through the murky waters of mental chaos. Stoicism encourages us to look beyond ourselves when we're caught in the loop of excessive thought. That insight might come from a trusted friend with a fresh perspective, a mentor offering experienced guidance, or even the timeless wisdom found in great books. In today's world, applying this principle is more important than ever. Reach out to those you trust and respect. It might be someone in your personal circle or a professional who can help you navigate your challenges. Sharing your thoughts not only clarifies them as you speak, but also invites constructive feedback, insights you might miss when lost in your mental storm. This approach offers more than just practical advice. It reminds us of the value of human connection. When we share our burdens, they often feel lighter. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a recognition of the collective strength we have as social beings. Seeking wisdom outside yourself honors the truth that while we think alone, we grow and heal together. This is not about helplessness. It's about recognizing that collective wisdom and support have real power. Let the insight of others be the light that leads you out of the dense fog of excessive thoughts. With each genuine conversation, the mental puzzle begins to feel less complicated, not necessarily because the problems have changed, but because you are no longer burdened by them alone. In the presence of connection and shared understanding, even the most complex issues become more manageable. Together, solutions emerge, answers that might have remained hidden if you tried to face everything in solitude. When you embrace the support of others, you unlock a source of strength that allows you to confront intricate challenges with new perspective and resilience. It is in this unity that you often find clarity, guidance, and the courage to keep going. Practicing voluntary discomfort is a powerful method for breaking free from the loop of overthinking that often traps us. When we are confronted with uncomfortable changes or uncertainties, our minds tend to spin endless scenarios, attempting to predict every outcome and prepare for every possible unease. This relentless mental rehearsal can drain us, keeping us stuck within the perceived safety of our comfort zone, a zone that becomes a kind of mental prison where personal growth halts and anxiety grows stronger. But intentionally choosing to face discomfort helps train the mind to handle uncertainty and lessen the grip of over-analysis. This isn't about suffering for its own sake. It's about growth through small, deliberate actions that stretch you beyond your usual routines. Start with something simple. Take a cold shower, go to sleep without your pillow, or choose to walk instead of drive. These minor disruptions challenge the automatic patterns of your daily life, teaching you to sit with discomfort and observe what it reveals, without judgment or panic. It's essential to remember that this is not a punishment. Rather, it's a way of showing your overactive mind that discomfort isn't as dangerous as it seems. In fact, it becomes familiar with repeated exposure, and your mind begins to relax. You respond more calmly to change, focusing not on what is beyond your control, but on your own reactions and mindset. Voluntary discomfort has a paradoxical power. It strengthens you by teaching you resilience in the face of unpredictability. Over time, this practice develops an unshakable inner strength, a stable core that doesn't crumble with the natural ups and downs of life. You become more capable of handling difficulties, more accepting of uncertainty, and more at peace amid chaos. Eventually, this habit brings you a deep sense of confidence and emotional strength, touching every part of your life. When you find yourself caught in a storm of excessive thoughts, it often means you've become too focused on the fine details of life. The broader perspective gets lost, and your thoughts start spiraling into, "What if this happens?" or "What if that fails?" Each question pulling you deeper into mental overload. Even small issues can start to feel enormous and suffocating. Seneca once reminded us that life is not short because we lack time, but because we squander it. This reflection pushes us to think deeply about the fleeting nature of life. Every moment spent in overthinking is a moment we are not fully living. It becomes a missed opportunity to experience the richness of life, to be present, to grow, and to engage with the world as it is. Stoic wisdom encourages us to pause and reflect. Will these worries matter in the bigger picture of your life? Will they hold any real weight as time passes? Often the answer is no. That realization can be incredibly freeing. It invites us to take a step back and view our lives as a whole, to see how many of our current fears and doubts are temporary, and in the grand scheme, often insignificant. When you're overwhelmed by your thoughts, take a moment to breathe and remember, life is brief. Ask yourself whether this mental storm is truly worth the limited time you have. Reflecting on the impermanence of life doesn't lead to gloom, it leads to gratitude. It helps you realign your focus toward what really matters, living with intention, cherishing the present, and letting go of what doesn't serve your peace. This shift in mindset is a powerful remedy for overthinking. It gently pulls your attention back to the here and now, reminding you to experience life fully. When you see life as a temporary canvas, not a permanent fixture, you start to paint it with bold colors, with joy, with presence, and with purpose. Have you ever said something and instantly wished you could rewind time? We've all had those moments, when the words leave your mouth and immediately feel like arrows you can't retrieve. But what if you could gain full control over your speech, ensuring that every word you utter radiates wisdom, grace, and inner strength? That's exactly the path we're exploring today. 6 things an intelligent person never says, all deeply rooted in the enduring teachings of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism reminds us that our words are far more than just sounds. They are outward expressions of our intellect and the values we hold. From steering clear of hollow bragging to understanding the quiet power of silence, these principles don't just refine how you speak, they shape your identity. The beauty of this journey is that by the end of it, you'll gain practical takeaways you can immediately use to enhance your speech, whether you're communicating in the workplace, engaging in personal conversations, or even navigating your own inner thoughts. So, prepare yourself. This isn't merely about refining your vocabulary. It's about recognizing how your words contribute to the person you're becoming. Stay with us, because what's coming next could fundamentally shift how you perceive the power of speech. Let's begin with a crucial truth. Avoid boasting about your knowledge. Have you ever encountered someone who constantly talks about how much they know or what they've achieved? They'll go on about the lessons they've learned, the books they've read, and all the things they've mastered. At first, you might find their knowledge impressive, even inspiring. But as time goes on, that admiration can fade, replaced by a sense of emotional distance, not because their insights lack value, but because their delivery feels more like a performance than a conversation. In Stoicism, there's a strong emphasis on quiet wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once reflected that nature never boasts about what it creates, and we shouldn't take credit for our wisdom either. This isn't just a poetic notion, it's a way of living. I remember a story about a friend of mine, John. He was an incredibly knowledgeable individual, especially in the tech world. Whether in meetings or social gatherings, John always aimed to be the smartest voice in the room. He'd mention the high-level projects he led, the complex technologies he mastered, and the numerous accolades he received. Initially, people admired him. But with time, conversations with John began to feel one-sided, as if everything was about showcasing his intellect rather than connecting with others. Eventually, one of his colleagues approached him and gave him some honest feedback. They told him that while his expertise was undeniable, the way he presented it often made others feel excluded. That moment was a wake-up call for John. He came to understand that his attempts to impress were actually creating distance between him and those around him. This is a pitfall many fall into without realizing. When you feel the urge to highlight your knowledge or accomplishments, pause and examine your intent. Are you sharing to genuinely contribute something meaningful, or are you seeking admiration and validation? If it's the latter, it may be time to rethink your approach. Boasting diminishes the power of your words. Instead of building bridges, it can erect invisible walls, making others feel as if they're being compared or judged. What may have begun as an effort to inspire can end up alienating the very people you hoped to influence. Stoic philosophy offers a meaningful path forward. First, let your actions be louder than your words. When you truly possess knowledge, it naturally reveals itself through the quality of your work and the way you navigate challenges. Next, embrace humility. Being humble doesn't mean hiding your talents. It means allowing others to recognize your worth through real experiences and genuine interactions. And finally, cultivate the habit of listening. Listening not only helps you learn from others, but it also shows them respect and strengthens your ability to form meaningful connections. To the Stoics, listening is a form of silence that holds immense power. Silence isn't a sign of ignorance. It reflects inner strength, patience, and understanding. John eventually came to understand this profound truth. Over time, he stopped centering conversations around himself and started genuinely engaging with the thoughts and experiences of others. He went from trying to control conversations to quietly contributing and valuing the voices around him. Gradually, people began to gravitate toward him, not only because of his knowledge, but because of the integrity, warmth, and sense of collaboration he brought into every space. He came to embody the idea that wisdom isn't something you boast about, it's something you share in a way that uplifts others. Choosing not to brag doesn't mean withholding your insights or knowledge. It means learning to share them in a way that honors the contributions of others and creates a sense of mutual respect. Stoicism teaches that our words are mirrors of our character. When you choose humility instead of arrogance, you don't just grow as a person. You create space for those around you to grow as well. So take a moment and ask yourself, what do your words say about who you are? That answer will define the course of your personal and emotional growth. Now let's turn to another important truth. Never dismiss the opinions of others. Have you ever shared an idea only to have it brushed aside before you could fully express it? It's a frustrating and disheartening experience, one that can make you question your worth and the value of your thoughts. Sadly, I know this feeling not just from being on the receiving end, but from being the one responsible for causing it. Early on in a leadership role, I prided myself on my quick thinking and decision-making. During a team meeting, one of my colleagues offered a suggestion to improve how we managed our workflow. Without pausing to reflect, I interrupted and rejected the idea, labeling it as unworkable. I believed I was saving time and being efficient, but I failed to notice the sudden silence that fell over the room, the exchanged glances, the loss of enthusiasm, and how the rest of the meeting passed without any more ideas being offered. Later, a trusted colleague pulled me aside and gently said, "Maybe you could have listened a little longer. That idea wasn't as off base as it first sounded." That moment stopped me in my tracks. It wasn't just a missed opportunity. It was a moment that revealed I had created an atmosphere where people no longer felt safe or encouraged to speak freely. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is rooted in openness, not in assuming you have all the answers. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You cannot learn what you think you already know." When you dismiss someone's perspective before understanding it, you're not just closing yourself off to potentially valuable insights, you're also weakening the trust and connection within your relationships. The cost isn't just a lost idea, it's the erosion of collaboration and team spirit. From that experience, I learned to approach conversations differently. In future meetings, I reminded myself that listening doesn't mean agreeing. It simply means showing respect and being open to new possibilities. Even if an idea didn't seem promising at first, I chose to remain curious instead of critical. To my surprise, when I made space for others to speak freely, my team began offering innovative solutions, ideas I would never have thought of on my own. Here's a mindset shift that helped me. Instead of immediately trying to challenge or disprove an idea, I started asking myself, what can I learn from this? Even when a suggestion seemed flawed or off track at first glance, it often contained a seed of insight. And even if the idea ultimately didn't work, I still gained valuable perspective into how someone else was interpreting the issue. That deeper understanding on its own held real worth. Another key principle is practicing humility. Stoic teachings remind us that we are not the center of the universe. When we disregard someone else's opinion, what we're really doing is elevating our own viewpoint above all others, as if we alone hold the ultimate truth. But the reality is, no single person, no matter how experienced or intelligent, has all the answers. Genuine wisdom comes from collaboration, from the thoughtful exchange of different perspectives and experiences. After shifting my approach, I noticed a change in the dynamic of our meetings. I began asking more questions instead of making statements. I made a conscious effort to invite even the quietest voices into the conversation. The effect was powerful. Not only did our ideas improve, but the entire team started to feel more valued and engaged. It became clear to me that everyone, in their own way, had something important to offer, something I had been blind to because of my own impatience and overconfidence. Ultimately, refusing to dismiss others' opinions isn't just about being polite. It's a smart, strategic move. When you show respect for the perspectives around you, you unlock a wealth of insights, creativity, and opportunity. You build trust, and you cultivate an atmosphere where real innovation has space to thrive. As the Stoics believed, wisdom isn't about always being right. It's about recognizing that everyone, in their own unique way, carries a piece of the truth, and that at its core is what true wisdom is all about. Now, let's explore another powerful insight. Refrain from complaining without purpose. Picture someone like Peter, a seasoned professional in midlife, juggling a demanding job, family responsibilities, and the everyday frustrations that life throws his way. Peter has plenty on his plate, and like many, he faces stress and setbacks. But instead of approaching these issues constructively, Peter has slipped into a habit of constant complaining. From grumbling about co-workers not pulling their weight to venting about the broken coffee machine in the office, Peter's frustrations seem never-ending. At first, his co-workers were understanding. They listened, even offered solutions. But as time passed and Peter's complaints continued without change, the atmosphere around him began to shift. Conversations with him became draining. People started keeping their distance, not because they didn't care, but because they felt emotionally exhausted by the endless negativity. One day, during a lunch break, a friend spoke up with a simple yet piercing question. "Peter, I get that you're frustrated, but what are you actually doing to fix any of this?" That moment stuck with Peter. It forced him to reflect. He came to realize that he wasn't genuinely trying to improve anything. He was simply venting, letting his frustrations spiral unchecked. Worse yet, this pattern of complaining wasn't just pushing others away, it was reinforcing his own feelings of powerlessness and dissatisfaction. This kind of situation is more common than we'd like to admit. It's easy to slip into the routine of voicing complaints without thinking about how it affects those around us, or how it keeps us stuck in a negative mindset. Stoic philosophy offers a clear and powerful remedy. Focus your energy on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most respected voices, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When we constantly complain about things beyond our influence, we only amplify our sense of helplessness. It becomes a cycle, a loop of frustration that drains our energy and our hope. However, it's important to understand that not all complaints are inherently negative. When expressed with intention and directed toward a solution, they can actually inspire meaningful change. The problem arises when complaints lack purpose, when they're unfocused, habitual, and ultimately unproductive. In those cases, they become mere background noise, empty expressions that drain energy and resolve absolutely nothing. Think about it. Complaining about traffic doesn't make the cars disappear, and venting about the weather won't stop the rain from falling. People who think wisely recognize this distinction and choose to invest their emotional and mental energy into what genuinely makes a difference. So how can you escape the cycle of pointless complaining? Begin with a simple but powerful question whenever you feel frustration building. What can I do about this? If the honest answer is nothing, then it's time to release it. Complaining about circumstances beyond your control not only wastes precious time, but it also chips away at your inner peace. Instead, redirect that energy towards something meaningful. Take time to read, reflect, or express gratitude for the parts of your life that are going well. Another helpful approach is to shift your perspective. Rather than asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" try asking, "What lesson can I draw from this?" Stoic philosophy teaches us that within every challenge lies a potential for personal growth. Complaining clouds our vision, obscuring these valuable lessons, while thoughtful reflection helps us uncover them. Going back to Peter, he took his friend's words to heart and made a conscious effort to change. Instead of fixating on everything that annoyed him about his boss, he started focusing on how he could offer real solutions to the problems at work. Rather than grumbling about traffic during his daily commute, he began using that time to listen to audiobooks or practice mindfulness. Slowly but steadily, his mindset began to shift. His language became more thoughtful and purposeful, no longer tainted by constant negativity. People noticed. His relationships improved, and his co-workers started turning to him for advice and support drawn to the calm, solution-oriented attitude he now embodied. At its core, learning to refrain from meaningless complaints is an act of empowerment. When you put your attention on what's within your control, you fortify your mind and expand your influence. Stoic wisdom reminds us that our words and thoughts are tools, and when we use them intentionally, they can help us build a life rooted in resilience, clarity, and genuine connection. By releasing empty grievances and embracing purposeful action, you don't just change the way others see you, you begin to reshape your own experience of life. Now, let's turn to another important principle: making no empty promises. Promises carry a particular significance in our lives. They create expectations, foster trust, and define the bonds we have with others. And yet, how often do we catch ourselves making promises casually, without fully considering whether we can actually keep them? Though often made with good intentions, this habit can slowly wear down our credibility and damage our relationships. Stoic philosophy places great emphasis on the harmony between our words and our deeds. Integrity, in the Stoic view, isn't found in saying many things. It's found in consistently following through on what we do say. Take, for example, a man named Greg. He's in his 50s, juggling a demanding career and a full family life. Greg means well, but he has a tendency to overpromise. He often assures his team that he'll review their reports by a specific date, or tells his family he'll be home in time for dinner, only to miss those marks again and again. Initially, people gave Greg the benefit of the doubt, assuming he was just overwhelmed by his busy schedule. But as more and more promises went unfulfilled, frustration began to grow. His colleagues started second-guessing his commitments, and his family grew tired of the repeated letdowns. What once were trusted words began to lose their impact, gradually taking on an undertone of doubt and disappointment. One evening, after missing yet another family gathering, Greg returned home to find a note left on his desk by his teenage daughter. It read simply, "We just want you to mean it when you say it." That message hit him harder than any missed deadline or disappointed co-worker ever had. It forced Greg to confront the reality that, despite his good intentions, his repeated failure to follow through was undermining the very trust and respect he had worked so hard to build. This story brings to light an essential teaching from Stoic philosophy: speak with purpose and act with integrity. Marcus Aurelius once offered the simple yet profound advice: let your words be plain and true. His message is a reminder that promises should not be used to placate others in the moment. They are meaningful commitments that reflect our character. When we make a promise and fail to fulfill it, even unintentionally, it's like writing a check that our integrity can't cover. So how can we prevent ourselves from making promises we can't keep, while still nurturing trust and strong relationships? It begins with a pause before we commit. Ask yourself, do I genuinely have the time, the resources, and the mental energy to fulfill this promise? If the answer is uncertain, it is far better to be transparent and set realistic expectations than to risk disappointing others with an empty assurance. For example, rather than saying, "I'll definitely have this ready by tomorrow," consider saying, "I'll aim to have it ready by tomorrow, but if I need a bit more time, I'll let you know." Another helpful practice is to deliberately under-promise and over-deliver. By setting achievable goals and sometimes exceeding them, you avoid the sting of disappointment and instead build a reputation for consistency and reliability. Imagine Greg telling his team he would need 3 days to review their reports, then handing them in after only 2. That quiet act speaks louder than grand declarations. It reflects not only competence, but also care and dependability. And finally, embrace accountability. If you ever find yourself unable to keep a commitment, don't dodge the consequences. Face the situation directly. Offer a sincere apology. Give a brief explanation if necessary, and suggest a practical way forward. This response not only helps repair any damage, but also shows deep respect for the other person's time, trust, and expectations. Greg took these lessons seriously. He began evaluating his commitments more thoughtfully, saying no when he couldn't give a wholehearted yes, and ensuring he followed through when he did make a promise. Over time, his co-workers began to trust him again, and his family started recognizing his efforts as genuine and heartfelt. Even more importantly, Greg noticed a shift within himself, a calm confidence that came from knowing his words meant something and that his actions truly backed them up. Ultimately, avoiding empty promises is not about striving for perfection. It's about striving for authenticity and reliability. Stoicism teaches us that real strength is found in living with integrity, where what we say and what we do are in harmony. When we make this a priority, we not only earn the respect of others, but we also cultivate relationships that are deeper, more sincere, and built on mutual trust. Because at the end of the day, it's not the promises we make that define who we are. It's the ones we keep. Before we continue with the next insight, if you're finding value in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure the notification bell is turned on so you never miss future content. If you're as inspired by this wisdom as I am, drop a comment below saying, "I love this wisdom." Now, let's move on to the next lesson. Don't deny your mistakes. Have you ever felt like admitting a mistake is the same as revealing your flaws to the world, opening yourself up to judgment and criticism? I used to carry that fear too, until one transformative experience completely changed the way I saw things. Through the lens of Stoic philosophy, I came to understand that acknowledging your mistakes doesn't reduce your value. It actually elevates you. It reveals a person who is courageous, honest, and committed to growth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone is able to prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I will gladly change, for it is the truth I seek, and the truth never harmed anyone." This wisdom reveals a powerful Stoic truth. Admitting when we are wrong isn't a sign of weakness. It's a reflection of strength and a deep commitment to truth. Let me share a personal experience that brought this lesson to life for me. A few years ago, I was in charge of a significant project at work. Pressed by a tight deadline, I rushed through the final stages and overlooked several important details in a critical report. Unfortunately, those errors didn't go unnoticed. When the report was reviewed by upper management, my team faced direct criticism for the inaccuracies. At first, my instinct was to defend myself, to blame the overwhelming workload, the unrealistic timeline, or even external factors, anything but myself. But deep down, I knew that kind of excuse-making would only damage the trust and respect I had built with my team. So instead, I made a conscious choice to face the truth. At our next team meeting, I openly acknowledged the mistake, took full responsibility, apologized, and outlined concrete steps I would take to ensure it wouldn't happen again. To my surprise, their response wasn't anger or judgment. Instead, they appreciated my honesty. A few team members even thanked me for owning up to the mistake and showing accountability. That moment changed my perspective forever. I realized that acknowledging my fault didn't diminish my credibility. It actually made me more trustworthy in their eyes. Why is owning up to mistakes such a powerful act? Because it breaks down walls of defensiveness and builds bridges of trust. When you accept responsibility, you demonstrate that truth matters more to you than your pride. It sends a clear message that you are someone who values integrity, and that creates an environment where others feel safe to be honest, to admit their own mistakes, and to work together on solutions. But let's be honest, admitting a mistake is rarely easy. There's always the fear of being judged or losing respect. Yet ask yourself, does denying a mistake that others clearly see improve your reputation? Or does it simply make you appear less reliable? The courage to acknowledge your missteps is a true mark of inner strength. It shows that you are not afraid of growth and that you are committed to becoming better. So how can you begin to apply this principle in your own life? Start with self-awareness. When a situation doesn't go as planned, resist the urge to shift blame. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what role did I play in this? Even if your part was small, owning it is the beginning of finding a solution. Then, focus not just on apologizing, but on making things right. Show through your actions that you are committed to correcting the mistake and improving in the future. Stoic philosophy teaches that our mistakes are not marks of failure. They are stepping stones to personal growth. Those who are brave enough to admit their faults not only better themselves, but also inspire those around them. When you face your mistakes with openness and resolve, you're not just earning respect, you're building lasting trust. So the next time you stumble, don't run from it. Don't mask it with excuses. Take a moment, accept responsibility, and commit to doing better moving forward. Because the courage to admit your mistakes is what truly sets you apart, and it's what earns you lasting respect. Now, let's continue with another important Stoic lesson. Don't overshare your future plans. The Stoics often reminded us that keeping our promises isn't simply about following through. It's about safeguarding our integrity and honoring the trust of others. When we casually make promises, even small ones, and fail to keep them, we slowly erode our credibility and the confidence others have in us. Let me introduce you to someone whose story might sound familiar. His name is Jim, a middle-aged professional known for his friendly, agreeable nature. He had a reputation for being generous with his time and always willing to lend a hand. Whether it was helping a friend move, volunteering for an extra task at work, or committing to attend every local event, Jim had a standard reply: "Sure, count me in." But as the demands of life increased, family responsibilities, work deadlines, personal obligations, Jim's well-meaning promises began to stack up. Slowly, those commitments slipped through the cracks. He started forgetting appointments, missing deadlines, and disappointing the very people he wanted to support. This scenario is a reflection of a trap many of us fall into. Sometimes, we agree to things we can't truly commit to because we don't want to disappoint someone in the moment, or we simply want to be seen as helpful and agreeable. But the teachings of the Stoics warn us against this. Words, they said, must be intentional and backed by action. Marcus Aurelius offered a clear standard to live by when he said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This serves as a reminder that our words should come from a place of authenticity and thoughtfulness. Agreeing to something half-heartedly often stems from a fear of letting others down. But ironically, the greater harm comes from not honoring that commitment. The sting of disappointment cuts much deeper when people feel misled or forgotten. So, How can we avoid falling into the trap of making promises we can't keep? It begins with a pause. Before you agree to any request, take a moment to consider whether it aligns with your current priorities and whether you can realistically follow through. If the answer is no, a kind but honest refusal is often far more valuable than an insincere yes that never becomes reality. People may not always like hearing no, but they will respect your honesty and the clarity it brings. Another important mindset shift is learning to value depth over breadth. It's better to say yes to fewer things and do them with excellence than to overextend yourself and disappoint others. When you commit to something, do it with focus and genuine intention. This builds a reputation for being dependable and thoughtful, someone whose word means something. Equally important is understanding that saying no is not a selfish act. It's an expression of self-awareness. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what is within your control. When you stretch yourself too thin, you dilute your ability to follow through on the things that matter most. But when you choose your commitments carefully and fulfill them with integrity, you protect both your energy and your credibility. As Jim reflected on his moment of realization, he began to make meaningful changes. He became more selective in what he agreed to, no longer saying yes just to avoid awkwardness. He started prioritizing the commitments that truly mattered and made sure to honor them fully. With time, those around him noticed the change. His relationships improved, not because he was always available, but because when he made a promise, he kept it. And that reliability became the foundation of their respect for him. Ultimately, avoiding empty promises is about much more than just following through. It's about aligning your words with your values. It's about building deeper, more authentic relationships through honesty, intention, and follow-through. The Stoics teach us that every word we speak shapes how others perceive us and, just as importantly, how we perceive ourselves. The world is riddled with traps lurking around every corner, all designed to strip you of your strength as a man. Just take a moment to observe the popular Netflix shows being promoted, or consider the kinds of individuals society now places on a pedestal. Virtually nothing escapes the influence of a larger agenda, one aimed at controlling minds. Men are being conditioned, subtly yet powerfully, to accept weakness as a new norm. There's a well-known story that illustrates this perfectly, a story about a lion that I want to share with you. If this is your first time on my channel, I would truly appreciate your support. Please consider subscribing and liking the video so I can keep bringing you content like this in the future. Once upon a time, there was a mighty lion, feared by all who crossed his path. One day, this lion fell deeply in love with a farmer's daughter. But there was a major obstacle. The farmer despised the lion. When he discovered the lion's affection for his daughter, he became determined to prevent their union at any cost. So the cunning farmer devised a plan and summoned the lion. He told the lion that he would only permit the marriage under one condition, that the lion must first remove his sharp claws. To the lion, it seemed like a small sacrifice for such a great reward. So, for the sake of love and with the hope of winning the farmer's approval, he went to a stone and deliberately shattered his own claws. The next day he returned to the farmer, proudly announcing that he was now harmless and ready to claim his bride. But the farmer was not done. He added another condition. The lion must now break off his sharp teeth and fangs. Again the lion agreed, willing to give up even more of himself to attain what he desired. He removed his fangs and teeth, then returned once more. But this time, The farmer did not meet him with kindness. Instead, he attacked the lion and killed him. Now defenseless, the once powerful beast could not protect himself. The very things that had given him strength and identity had been willingly discarded, one by one. This story holds a powerful message. Brothers, the world we live in today is no different. There are forces at play far greater than most of us realize, and they have meticulously crafted a system, a matrix, designed to keep men enslaved to their impulses, their cravings, and their desires. But here's the hard truth. You can blame the farmer, you can point fingers at the elite and the system all you want. But in the end, it was the lion who made the choice to surrender. Voluntary discipline is the sacred virtue every man must embody, whether in his professional ambitions, financial journey, or romantic life. Every man is born with a deep desire to feel powerful, assertive, and in control. This is not arrogance, it's nature. We are wired to strive for strength and direction. Yet many of us have lost touch with this instinct. We fall into habits that strip us of our potential. We willingly hand over our power. Today, men complain endlessly. They squander their money on meaningless pleasures, drugs, pornography, and even apologize for things that don't require an apology. In doing so, they develop habits that weaken them from the inside out. One such habit is mocking others. This isn't a topic that gets much attention, but it's crucial. As a man of high value, you should never elevate yourself by tearing others down. Mocking others in an attempt to look superior reveals insecurity and a lack of respect. Authentic masculinity isn't about dominance over others, it's about self-mastery. Think about the example of crabs in a bucket. When one crab tries to climb out, the others instinctively pull it back down. Similarly, when someone around you attempts to rise, to improve, or to pursue a better life, there are those who feel threatened or envious and try to hold them back. That kind of behavior is neither noble nor productive. If you find yourself making fun of others, understand this: in that moment, you are placing yourself beneath them, period. That doesn't mean you should ignore mistakes or never correct others, but correction should come from a place of guidance, not ridicule. As a man, it is your duty to mentor and uplift your brothers, not to belittle them. Leave behind grudges, hidden motives, or superiority complexes. Instead, offer feedback that helps others grow and evolve. Remember, true strength and confidence are never expressed through mockery. Listen to what Mike Tyson once said. Social media has given people the false courage to speak disrespectfully to others without fearing the consequences, like getting punched in the face. His words are a stark reminder of how disconnected we've become from accountability. Another habit that weakens men is the refusal to accept responsibility. Let's return to the story of the lion and the farmer's daughter. Ultimately, the lion's downfall wasn't caused solely by the farmer's deception. The real reason lies in the lion's failure to embrace his responsibility. His duty was to live as the powerful predator he was created to be. His claws and teeth were not just weapons, they were symbols of his identity and nature. But he chose to abandon that for acceptance. Many of us do the same in our lives. We run from our responsibilities instead of owning them with pride. But responsibilities are not burdens. They are the very foundation of who we are as men. I want you to say this out loud. I will honor my responsibilities with pride because they define me as a man. The moment you decide to escape your duties is the moment you choose to abandon your masculinity. Never forget this truth. The price of greatness is responsibility. Hear it again. The price of greatness is responsibility. This principle not only strengthens your own identity, but it also brings stability and growth to those around you. Responsibility should not be something we avoid or hand off to others. It should be embraced as the very path to fulfillment, greatness, and becoming the men we were always meant to be. There's a tendency among many men today to run from failure. This has become a real challenge in our time. Most men would rather stay in their comfort zone than step into the discomfort required for growth. But remember, real growth often involves pain and is usually disguised behind what we perceive as failure. Think about the well-known story of the man who digs in search of diamonds. He has no idea how far beneath the surface those diamonds lie, but he keeps digging. At first, it's just more dirt. Every scoop feels like nothing's changing, but with persistence, after hours or even days, he eventually uncovers what he's been searching for. The same is true for us. Brothers, understand that failure is not the end. If you carry the mindset that failure is final, you can be certain you will never achieve anything meaningful. Anything worth having comes with a cost. Let's say you launch a business. In the early stages, you may run into what seems like countless failures, struggling to understand how the business works, learning to attract and retain customers. But if you stay in the game long enough and continue to rise from those temporary setbacks, growth becomes inevitable. It's the same when dealing with women. In the beginning, you might come off as awkward or unsure of yourself. You may not know how to carry a smooth interaction, but your success lies beyond those early uncomfortable moments. These are just small prices a man must pay. Strength demands payment, and the payment is often temporary defeat. Many of us were raised to feel ashamed of our mistakes, to fear failure, and to constantly search for someone to blame. It's not my fault, we say. That person is the reason. These are the thoughts of someone who is not willing to take ownership. I want you to remember this quote. Write it down if you must. A weak man is one who blames his failure on the strength of others. Be sure to follow us on TikTok at Daily Stoic, on YouTube, and on all our social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There is another challenge, chasing a mission but blindly following useless or harmful laws. It's easy to spot the difference between a coward and a man of true value. The coward always sides with the majority, even when what they say is obviously wrong. What's worse is that the coward expects men of high value to also submit to these shallow rules and toxic norms. But a man of substance doesn't just follow, he examines, reflects, and decides based on reason and his higher purpose. In today's world, we've been trained not to judge, not to question, and not to stand firm. This mindset is getting out of hand. At this point, many are simply puppets, lab rats of the system, obeying every new agenda and regulation without question. There's nothing wrong with obedience, but only when what you're obeying aligns with your purpose, your calling, and above all, with the law of God. There is no law above that divine standard. Ask yourself, are you easily intimidated? Do you try to please everyone just to avoid confrontation? For some men, learning to say no is incredibly difficult. But if you commit to acting on truth, you'll see that the world doesn't fall apart when you stop complying with everything. I've seen too many men live in fear within their own marriages, acting like their wives are tyrants, afraid to speak their minds or offer correction. That is a perfect example of unhealthy submission, one that strips away masculine strength and leadership. Now let's talk about body language. The concept of nonverbal communication is more important than you might think. This includes things like how you shake hands, your eye contact, the way you sit, how you walk, and how you move when engaging with others. People can often sense whether you're a strong or weak man without a single word being said. In a society that often pushes against traditional masculinity, it's more important than ever for men to be aware of how they carry themselves. Being intentional with your body means consciously projecting strength, confidence, and clarity. Stand tall, walk with purpose. Make solid eye contact when speaking. Be deliberate in your movements and maintain a commanding presence. Your body speaks before your mouth does. It's your first impression, your silent introduction. It has a powerful impact on how people see you and how they treat you. When you present yourself as a man with confidence and strength through your body language, people are less likely to try to exploit or disrespect you. This is a vital skill for any man who wants to succeed in relationships, business, and life in general. Lastly, let's talk about waste, specifically wasting your most valuable years. We often stress on this channel the significance of your younger years, your 20s and into your 30s. These are your golden years, the prime time to build, to establish, and to grow. Think of a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't expect the fruit to grow the next day. In the same way, your 20s should be focused on sowing, emotionally, spiritually, physically, laying down the roots that will define your future. But here's the most important part. Don't expect to reap the rewards right away. Just keep planting, stay consistent, keep putting in the work. And before you even realize it, those seeds will begin to bear fruit. Don't rush the harvest. Keep planting, keep building, and before long, you'll find that you've created lush gardens and entire forests, environments that will attract the right kind of people, opportunities, and energy into your life. When I talk about sowing, I'm talking about pushing yourself, testing your limits, and challenging who you are now so that you can grow into who you're meant to become. This doesn't mean you have to grind non-stop, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it does mean you must remain aware that these early years are when your energy is at its peak, when opportunities to take bold risks are abundant. Take advantage of this season. Especially when you're young, it might feel like you're missing out on social trends or being part of a fast-moving culture when you're choosing instead to invest in yourself. But resist that temptation to blend in or to be distracted. You may not fully grasp it now, but with time and maturity, you'll deeply appreciate the discipline and focus you showed during these early years. To reinforce this truth, listen to what the wisest man who ever lived said about youth. Solomon once wrote these powerful words, "You who are young, be happy while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart and whatever your eyes see, but know that for all these things God will bring you into judgment." In other words, enjoy your youth, but also live it with purpose and accountability. Now, let's talk about another common trap, being lazy and unproductive with your time. The way you organize your day, how you manage the hours you've been given, plays a significant role in your personal development. Ask yourself, what time do you go to bed? What time do you get up? How is your day structured? What do you do when you come home from work? These questions are not small details to be ignored until it's convenient. They are fundamental to shaping the life you want. If you're a man seeking growth and success, then every part of your day deserves intentional planning. Consider why the most powerful people in the world are so effective at constructing systems and influence, what some call the matrix. It's because every detail of that system has been carefully planned. In the same way, you must examine your daily life. the people you interact with, the environments you allow yourself to be in, and even the type of content you consume. If you are not intentionally planting strong, purposeful thoughts in your mind, you may unknowingly be giving open access to influences that weaken you from within. Laziness is one of the greatest threats to men today. Many of us have powerful ideas and ambitions about our future, about business, or about the kind of life we want to live. But if we do not take action, those dreams remain unrealized. Laziness has a way of creeping in slowly and subtly. It starts small, but if left unchecked, it spreads like a disease, silently eating away your potential. It holds you back from taking necessary steps and keeps you stuck in place. Always remember, brothers, that laziness only wins against the weak. A man of true value and inner strength quickly learns how to identify laziness within himself and correct it before it takes root. Stay vigilant. Watch for signs of idleness in your life and act against it the moment it shows up. Don't forget this. In modern society, weakness has become a celebrated trait. Weakness is praised and promoted, but strength remains your greatest virtue. Pursue strength relentlessly. Find strength in every situation, in every challenge. And most importantly, never forget that your ultimate source of strength is God. Each day is filled with moments that can shape your growth and push you closer to your goals. But it's up to you to seize those moments with intention and courage. Let your pursuit of strength be both physical and mental. Know that building your spiritual and personal foundation will give you the resilience you need to overcome life's trials. We are often raised with the belief that we must give, share, and place generosity above our own personal interests. Yet, at some point, someone comes along and cautions us about the risks that come with being too kind and overly compassionate. We live in a world where the reality doesn't always reflect the ideal. A world where what we give isn't always returned in kind. Despite this, there are many generous people who pour not only their money but also their energy into helping others, often through indiscriminate giving and donations. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I would really appreciate your support. Please subscribe and like this video so I can continue to create content like this in the future. Now, let's consider a difficult but necessary question. Can excessive generosity actually put our own lives at risk? You might be surprised by the unexpected and sometimes harmful effects that kindness can bring. In this video, I'll reveal 8 consequences of being too good-hearted and introduce 4 powerful Stoic strategies to help you protect yourself from being exploited. Without further delay, let's begin. When you are overly generous, you may start developing unrealistic expectations. The Stoic philosophers consistently emphasize the importance of accepting reality as it is and not placing our happiness in the hands of others. By choosing to give without expecting much in return, we practice emotional detachment, a practice that leads to deeper inner peace. Imagine this. You strive to be kind and generous, offering the best of yourself to others without asking for anything back. This is a noble way to live. Yet, often without realizing it, we begin to hope that others will respond with equal kindness. We hope they'll see our efforts and reciprocate in kind. But what happens when those expectations go unmet? The root of this problem lies in our own expectations. When we assume others will respond the same way we do, we place ourselves in a vulnerable position. While it's human to desire recognition and appreciation, Stoicism reminds us that we have no control over how others behave. The only things we can govern are our own actions and our reactions to others. True altruism is rare because, consciously or unconsciously, we often hope that the goodness we give will come back to us. You might find that people become so used to your constant support and selflessness that they begin to expect it, not just occasionally, but all the time. They might even start neglecting their own responsibilities because they assume you'll take care of everything for them. And not just in their lives, but in yours as well. But the harsh truth is that your hopes for mutual support will likely go unfulfilled. As a result, you may feel frustrated, emotionally drained, and disappointed. Stoicism teaches us that our real wealth lies in the ability to give freely without needing anything in return. When we find joy in the act of giving itself and maintain our inner calm regardless of others' responses, we experience true peace of mind. Another consequence is that people will begin to expect you to always give them something. This is where the Stoic virtue of moderation becomes essential, acting as an anchor in a sea of never-ending demands. Rather than caving in to every request made of you, Stoicism encourages us to give in a balanced and thoughtful way. When we practice moderation, we keep control over our actions and avoid slipping into patterns that deplete our emotional energy. Humans tend to adjust to comfort, and this is where the idea of a comfort zone comes into play. If we're always stepping in to handle others' problems, they become comfortable with that dynamic. They no longer feel a need to grow, to stretch themselves, or to face life's challenges, because they know we'll always be there to bail them out. This creates problems not only for them, but also for us. By constantly prioritizing other people's responsibilities, we end up neglecting our own needs and goals. We get caught in a cycle of endlessly giving, which slowly drains our emotional reserves and damages our well-being. Practicing moderation helps us reclaim that balance. When we learn to give in a thoughtful, measured way, we keep ownership of our actions and safeguard our inner peace. If others get used to receiving from you all the time, they'll start expecting your generosity as a given. Yes, it's important to be giving, but it's equally crucial to maintain your boundaries. When you establish clear limits and practice generosity wisely, you not only protect your own peace and emotional health, but you also help others take responsibility for their lives. True generosity is not about giving endlessly until you're depleted. It's about creating a balance where both you and those around you can thrive and grow. One of the most painful consequences of excessive generosity is that your own priorities will get trampled. The Stoics taught that we should live according to reason and virtue, and that means honoring our personal responsibilities and limits. When we fail to set boundaries, we begin sacrificing our authenticity and inner peace for the sake of others. If you find yourself constantly giving everything for the sake of other people's priorities, it may be a sign that you're trying to run from something inside yourself, some kind of inner pain or fear. The emotions that come up in these moments are telling you something important. There is something within you that stirs up pain and fear, deep emotions that tend to surface during those moments of solitude. The experience of loneliness can be overwhelming. It brings with it a hollow feeling, a deafening silence, and a yearning for connection that creates intense emotional discomfort. During these times, it becomes all too easy to seek refuge in something external. Often, we throw ourselves into caring for others, attending to their needs as a way to escape the emptiness we feel inside. But this constant giving comes at a steep price. In trying to fill the void, you risk losing yourself. Your inner voice becomes drowned out by the unrelenting demands of the outside world. Eventually, When you're left alone with your own stillness, the very pain and fear you've been trying to suppress rise up again, even stronger than before. It's crucial to understand that attending to your own needs and honoring your personal priorities is not selfishness. Rather, it's an act of self-care and an essential part of preserving your authenticity. The Stoics remind us that establishing boundaries and living in alignment with our personal virtues is not only an expression of self-love, it is a pathway to a more genuine and fulfilling life. So the next time you feel the urge to run away from yourself by constantly focusing on others, pause for a moment. Acknowledge those uncomfortable emotions that surface in solitude. Welcome them with compassion. Give yourself permission to be real about your desires and needs. Learn to create healthy boundaries and say no when it's necessary. When you honor your own authenticity, not only do you nurture your inner life, but you also offer a more balanced and sincere generosity to others, one that stems from a place of wholeness and truth. If you give too much of yourself, others may begin to perceive you as weak and treat you accordingly. Stoic philosophy encourages us to develop inner resilience and maintain self-discipline. When you consistently step up to help, over time you may gain recognition as a reliable figure in that sphere of assistance. However, this can backfire. The absence of clear boundaries often sends the opposite signal. People may see this as a vulnerability. Instead of respecting you, they might start exploiting your willingness to help. You come across as someone who will shoulder others' burdens without hesitation or question. This can trap you in a cycle of being perpetually overwhelmed, drained, and resentful. But something powerful begins to shift when you start asserting yourself and saying no, calmly yet firmly. People begin to see you differently. You're no longer viewed as someone who endlessly accepts every responsibility thrown your way. You become someone who values themselves enough to set clear limits, someone worthy of dignity and consideration. This change in how others perceive you is deeply significant. That small word, no, can transform your relationships. You cease to be an easy target for constant demands. You become a strong, self-respecting individual who knows how to uphold boundaries, and that earns genuine respect. Ultimately, respect isn't only derived from what you do for others, it's deeply connected to how you treat yourself. By setting boundaries and practicing discipline, you're communicating something profound to the world, that you are deserving of respect and dignity. So, the next time your boundaries are being tested, remember the quiet strength in that simple word, no. It's not just a rejection of excess, it's an affirmation of your worth. Sometimes being overly helpful leads to a different kind of disappointment. People begin to see you only as a means to an end. When you become someone who's always available to help without hesitation, it's natural that others take notice. But this attention can come with a downside. Those who once regarded you as a true friend might begin excluding you from social or joyful gatherings, reaching out to you only when they need something. It may seem cruel or unfair, but from a practical standpoint, it's not entirely unexpected. Think about it. How often do people invite their colleagues or helpers to unwind and enjoy leisure time together? More often, those invitations are extended to close friends, loved ones, or people with whom there's a sincere and mutual bond in. This change in how you're treated can feel painful and disheartening. You might find yourself giving freely, only to be left out when it comes to the moments of joy and relaxation. It stings. It can make you feel disillusioned and even betrayed. But the Stoic perspective offers a different lens. These experiences serve as a test, a fire in which your discernment is forged. They challenge you to see clearly who genuinely values your presence and who simply uses your kindness for their own convenience. Yet Stoicism doesn't teach us to become cold or distrustful. It encourages us to grow in our understanding of human nature. Through discernment, you gain the ability to choose wisely, offering your help to those who truly need it and who sincerely appreciate your support. This clarity allows you to navigate relationships with both compassion and wisdom. You're no longer acting from a place of blind generosity, but from a place of awareness and integrity. It's not about shutting yourself off. It's about choosing where your energy goes based on truth and mutual respect. By choosing to do so, you not only protect your own energy and resources, but also begin to cultivate a life surrounded by people who appreciate you for who you are, not merely for what you can offer them. This approach presents you with a valuable opportunity to exercise Stoic self-discipline. You gain the power to make conscious choices, establish firm boundaries, and decide deliberately how and where to invest your energy and time. This helps keep your inner life stable, your focus clear, and your priorities aligned with those who genuinely value your help. In doing so, you align yourself with Stoic principles and begin to discover a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, even amidst the often complicated nature of human relationships. You will naturally attract people who are in need, but rarely those who are willing to give. According to Stoic teachings, our actions and thoughts emit a kind of energy that draws toward us individuals with similar vibrations. When we cultivate a healthy mental state, one of positivity and emotional clarity, we radiate a high frequency of energy. This high vibration state becomes magnetic to others who are also generous, enthusiastic, and sincere. However, when we give indiscriminately and allow ourselves to become emotionally drained and physically depleted, our energy begins to weaken. We start vibrating at a lower frequency, which makes us more likely to attract people who are needy, not because they are authentic or want a mutual connection, but because they seek to fulfill their own desires at our expense. This diminished energy doesn't only attract the needy, it also draws in opportunists. These individuals have no real intention or ability to reciprocate. Instead, they see in us an easy opportunity to take what they want without offering anything in return. Stoic wisdom teaches us that the key lies in discernment and self-discipline. We must learn to recognize when we are giving too much, to the point of draining our own reserves. This recognition demands that we set clear boundaries and practice moderation, even in our acts of generosity. In doing so, we protect our energy, maintain a higher vibrational frequency, and begin attracting people who truly appreciate our authenticity and are capable of engaging in mutual, reciprocal relationships. By staying aware of our emotional energy and practicing a more balanced form of generosity, we foster relationships that are built on mutual respect and appreciation, not exploitation. These are the relationships that bring true benefit, grounded in reciprocity and genuine human connection. Such a life, aligned with Stoic values, allows us to experience authentic bonds based on honesty and integrity. Without this awareness and balance, there is a real danger of falling into addiction. The Stoics often caution against this very outcome, reminding us that moderation and self-control are vital for maintaining a balanced and healthy life. When it comes to generosity, practicing self-discipline becomes even more important. It safeguards us from slipping into addictive patterns that often arise when we're emotionally and physically depleted from overextending ourselves. Living according to Stoic values means recognizing that generosity must be tempered. Giving without limits can leave us drained and vulnerable, which may lead us to seek comfort in unhealthy ways, such as overeating, drinking excessively, or compulsive behaviors like gambling. Stoic philosophy teaches us to pay close attention to warning signs, especially those that come from trusted individuals in our lives. If someone close to you expresses concern that you may be relying too heavily on certain behaviors, it's important to take those observations seriously. It's natural for our first reaction to be denial, especially if we're caught in the early stages of an addictive cycle. However, these concerns often come from a place of genuine love and care. Accepting such observations with humility and gratitude is a crucial step toward developing self-awareness and fostering personal growth. By doing so, we're putting Stoic teachings into action, applying the principles of moderation and self-control to avoid falling into the traps that addiction can set. Remember that those who truly care about us want to see us overcome life's difficulties and thrive. Taking their words to heart is not a sign of weakness, but rather a deep commitment to our own well-being, personal development, and long-term happiness. When you live with sincere generosity, you may also find yourself the subject of suspicion. Stoicism reminds us to live virtuously, regardless of how others perceive our actions. By staying true to our principles and values, we build a reputation that can withstand unwarranted doubts or false judgments. Unfortunately, although we wish it were different, genuinely kind people are not as common in the world as we'd hope. Because of this, when someone truly embodies kindness, it can evoke suspicion rather than admiration or gratitude. In fact, it likely won't take long after you display genuine kindness before others begin to question your motives. They may wonder what your true intentions are, as if there must be something hidden behind your actions. In a world where self-interest often reigns, unfiltered generosity can seem strange or suspicious. But the Stoic path is not concerned with pleasing everyone. It's concerned with living in harmony with truth, with virtue, and with the strength of one's own character. They may wonder what your true intentions are, and the fact that you don't reveal everything to everyone might signal to them that they don't fully trust you. This situation could arise because people are generally cautious, and those who seem genuinely kind and helpful may raise suspicions. It's natural for some individuals, driven by hidden agendas, to hide their intentions, which makes it better to distance yourself from them, despite their willingness to offer help. In such circumstances, there are strategies to protect yourself and maintain balance. The first strategy is to listen to your own feelings, a concept rooted in Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of self-awareness. By paying attention to your emotions and how you feel when offering help, you can determine if you're overextending yourself and beginning to feel emotionally drained. If offering help leaves you feeling overwhelmed, angry, or depleted, it's a sign that you need to reassess your boundaries. Stoics believe that self-reflection is essential for understanding your reactions, and acknowledging these feelings can guide you towards maintaining a healthier balance in your giving. The second strategy is to overcome the fear of saying no. Stoicism teaches that your time and energy are precious, and it's essential to be deliberate in how you spend them. Saying no when you're overwhelmed or when someone makes an unreasonable request is an important exercise in self-control. While we may initially feel uncomfortable saying no, it's a necessary practice for maintaining our well-being. Learning to say no with confidence helps you preserve your time and energy for the things that matter most, allowing you to avoid unnecessary stress and potential harm. The third strategy is to respect your personal time and space. Following the Stoic principles of self-discipline and self-respect, it's vital to carve out time for yourself. Whether it's enjoying a hobby, practicing yoga, or simply taking time to relax, you must make sure to prioritize these activities. When someone asks for your help during this designated personal time, they should respect your boundaries. If you're unable to help at that moment, don't feel guilty. Politely suggest another time when you're available, but always make it clear that your time is limited because you have your own life and responsibilities to manage. The fourth strategy is to identify and distance yourself from energy-draining individuals. Practicing Stoic self-discipline and discernment involves recognizing relationships that take more from you than they give. These individuals, often referred to as energy vampires, constantly drain your emotional resources with their complaints, negativity, and unresolved issues. The Stoics would advise you to step back from these draining relationships because your well-being depends on surrounding yourself with people who uplift and contribute positively. Helping these individuals often leads to frustration and emotional exhaustion, as they don't truly seek solutions, they only want to continue complaining. In conclusion, Stoic wisdom teaches us that the best approach to life is moderation. Generosity is a beautiful quality, but when given in excess, it can deplete our resources, be it emotional, physical, or even financial. Striving for balance is crucial in all aspects of life, including how we help others. It's important to find the middle ground between prioritizing others and taking care of ourselves. Whenever you're uncertain, remember that the word no is your ally. By practicing this simple but powerful word, you protect your time, energy, and peace of mind. And when you find yourself in doubt, consider the balance you need, because true generosity is about maintaining your own well-being while helping others. If you found value in this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and comment. This helps YouTube know that content like this is beneficial to people like you, and we can continue creating more videos to support you in the future. Let me introduce you to a Stoic philosopher you'll find truly fascinating, Epictetus. Born into slavery, he faced adversity from the very beginning, yet he managed to rise above his circumstances in a truly Stoic way. Despite enduring a life that most would find unbearable, Epictetus didn't let his external conditions define his inner world. He focused on what he could control, his thoughts and reactions. It's like that Stoic concept of you have power over your mind, not outside events. He later became a prominent philosopher, teaching Stoicism and inspiring countless others. He emphasized the importance of living in accordance with nature and mastering our desires. His teachings are like a guide to finding peace and contentment, no matter what life throws at you. So, when you're grappling with life's challenges or striving for a deeper sense of purpose, think of Epictetus. His story and Stoic wisdom can serve as a lantern in the darkness, helping you navigate your journey with resilience and inner strength. Let's delve into his world of Stoicism together and discover the gems of wisdom it offers for our own lives. The only thing I ask of you is not to skip this video in any way. If you're here, consider yourself different from the majority. Consider yourself an exception. Now act like one and don't skip any part of the content. 1. Amor fati. Embrace your fate. You know, there's this fascinating Stoic concept called amor fati, which essentially means loving your fate. It's about embracing not just the good things that happen in life, but also the challenges and setbacks. Imagine seeing every obstacle as an opportunity for growth and transformation. It's like saying, "Hey life, throw whatever you want at me and I'll find a way to make the most of it." Life is unpredictable, right? Sometimes things don't go the way we plan, and that's where amor fati comes in. It encourages us to accept the hand we are dealt and find a way to turn even the toughest situations into something positive. It's about resilience, about saying, "I won't let circumstances define me. I'll define how I respond to them." 2. Serve others. Contribute to the common good. I've always been inspired by the Stoic idea of serving others. It's not just about being selfless. It's about understanding that when we contribute positively to our community or the world, it not only benefits others, but also brings a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment to our own lives. It's like this beautiful cycle of giving and receiving. Think about it. When you help someone or make a positive impact on their life, it's like planting a seed of goodness, and that seed grows, not just in their life, but also in yours. You feel this sense of connection, of making a meaningful difference. It's a reminder that we're not alone on this journey. We're all interconnected. 3. Memento mori. Remember your mortality. Have you ever heard of memento mori? It's a Latin phrase that means, remember you will die. Now I know that might sound a bit morbid at first, but it's actually a powerful reminder to live each day to the fullest. Imagine waking up every morning with the thought that this day might be your last. It's a call to appreciate life, cherish moments, and make every day count. Memento mori isn't about dwelling on death. It's about embracing life with a sense of urgency and purpose. It's like having a little voice in your head that says, "Hey, time is precious. Don't waste it on things that don't matter." It's about prioritizing what truly brings you joy and fulfillment, both in your actions and your relationships. 4. Self-discipline. Your internal compass. So, self-discipline. It's like having your own internal compass. It's the ability to stay on track and focused, especially when life throws distractions or temptations our way. It's about making choices that align with your long-term goals, even when the easy path might lead you astray. Think of it as the secret sauce to achieving your dreams. It's about taking consistent action, even when you don't feel like it. Self-discipline helps you build good habits, whether it's in your work, your health, or your personal growth. It's like having that friend who keeps you accountable to your best self. 5. Morning routine. Your blueprint for success. Picture your morning routine as the foundation of your day. It's that intentional time in the morning where you set the tone for how the rest of the day will unfold. Whether it's meditation, exercise, or simply planning your day, it's a way to start with purpose and clarity. A morning routine is like your daily blueprint for success. It's not about being rigid, but about creating a space for self-care and personal growth. When you start your day intentionally, it's amazing how it positively impacts your productivity and overall well-being. It's like giving yourself a head start in the marathon of life. 6. Essentialism. Simplify your life. Essentialism is all about simplifying your life. Think of it like decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mind. It's about recognizing what truly matters and focusing on that while letting go of unnecessary distractions. By doing this, you create space for what's important. Imagine your life as a room filled with various objects. Some are valuable, some are junk, and some are just taking up space. Essentialism is like going through that room, identifying the valuables, and getting rid of the clutter. It's about saying no to things that don't align with your values or goals, and yes to what truly matters. This practice brings clarity and a sense of purpose to your life. 7. Adaptability. Embrace change. Life can be unpredictable, right? So adaptability is like your superpower in dealing with change. It's about being flexible and finding new ways forward when things don't go as planned. Instead of getting stuck, you pivot and make the most out of challenging situations. Think of it as being like a bamboo tree in a storm. It bends and sways with the wind, but doesn't break. Adaptability is about not resisting change, but embracing it as an opportunity for growth. It's a mindset that says, I can handle whatever life throws my way. It helps you thrive in a world that's constantly evolving. 8. Action over information. Turning dreams into reality. Imagine having all this knowledge but never applying it. Action is where the magic happens. It's about taking that first step, even if it's a small one, instead of just accumulating information. It's how you turn your dreams into reality. Think about it like this. Imagine you have a treasure map with all the clues to find a hidden treasure. Knowing the map exists is one thing, but taking action to follow the clues and unearth the treasure is another. Action transforms potential into tangible results. It's like having the courage to set sail in search of your dreams, rather than just reading about distant lands. 9. Tolerant with others, strict with yourself, balancing compassion and self-improvement. This one's all about balance. It's about being patient and understanding when dealing with others, but also holding yourself to high standards for personal growth. It's like being kind to others, but also pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself. Balancing tolerance with self-discipline can be a delicate dance. It's about recognizing that we're all on our unique journeys, and sometimes people may not meet our expectations. Instead of judgment, it's about offering understanding and support. At the same time, it's essential to set high standards for your own growth and development. It's like being a friendly coach to yourself, nudging you to reach your full potential. 10. Resilience, bouncing back from life's challenges. You know life can throw some pretty tough punches, right? That's where resilience comes in. It's like having a strong, flexible backbone that helps you bounce back from setbacks and tough times. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you see them as opportunities for growth. It's about developing that mental toughness to face adversity head-on and come out even stronger. 11. Empathy, understanding others. Ever thought about what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes? That's what empathy is all about. It's the ability to truly understand and share the feelings of another person. It's like saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here for you. Empathy fosters deep connections with others and helps us navigate the complexities of human relationships with compassion and kindness. 12. Mindfulness, being present in the moment. You ever catch yourself worrying about the past or stressing about the future? Mindfulness is the antidote. It's about being fully present in the moment, appreciating the here and now. It's like savoring the flavors of a delicious meal or feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin during a walk. Mindfulness brings a sense of calm and clarity to your life, helping you break free from the grip of anxiety and stress. 13. Purpose, guiding your life. Have you ever wondered, what's my purpose? Purpose in life. It's a big question, but Stoicism offers guidance. Your purpose is like your North Star, guiding your decisions and actions. It's like having a mission that gives your life meaning and direction. It's about waking up every day with a sense of why you do what you do. Purpose fuels your passion and drive, helping you overcome challenges with determination. 14. Continuous learning. Never stop growing. Think about life as a never-ending journey of growth and learning. Stoicism encourages us to never stop seeking knowledge. It's like saying, "I'm a student of life, and there's always something new to discover." Continuous learning keeps your mind sharp, your horizons broad, and your perspective fresh. It's like adding vibrant colors to the canvas of your life story. 15. Gratitude. Counting your blessings. Have you ever stopped to think about all the things you're grateful for? Gratitude is like a warm hug for your soul. It's about recognizing and appreciating the people, experiences, and things that enrich your life. It's like saying, "Thank you, universe, for all these beautiful moments." Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, filling your heart with contentment. 16. Patience. Mastering the art of waiting. In a fast-paced world, patience is like a rare gem. It's the ability to wait calmly without getting frustrated. It's like standing in a long line at the grocery store and not feeling the need to rush. Patience is a valuable skill that helps you maintain composure when faced with delays or challenging situations. It's like having a superpower that keeps stress at bay. 17. Kindness. Small acts, big impact. You know, small acts of kindness can have a significant impact on someone's day. Kindness is like sprinkling a little magic wherever you go. It's about being considerate and compassionate, not just to others, but also to yourself. It's like saying, "I choose kindness in a world where I can be anything." Kindness creates a ripple effect of positivity that spreads far and wide. 18. Courage. Facing your fears. We all feel afraid sometimes. That's completely normal. But courage is like stepping into the arena despite your fears. It's like saying, "I acknowledge my fears, but I won't let them hold me back." Courage empowers you to face challenges head-on, whether it's speaking up for what you believe in or pursuing your dreams. It's like having a fierce inner warrior. 19. Simplicity. Less is more. Have you ever noticed that simplicity can be incredibly freeing? It's about decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mind. Simplicity is like Marie Kondoing your life. It's about letting go of what doesn't serve you and focusing on what truly matters. Simplicity reduces overwhelm and brings a sense of calm and clarity. 20th. Honesty. The foundation of trust. Honesty is like the sturdy foundation of a house. It's the basis of trust and integrity in all your relationships. Being honest means being truthful in your words and actions, even when it's difficult. It's like saying, "I value honesty, and I'll stand by it." Honesty builds trust, and trust builds strong connections with others. 21. Healthy lifestyle. Caring for your body and mind. Think of your body and mind as a temple. A healthy lifestyle is like giving that temple the care and respect it deserves. It's about regular exercise, a balanced diet, and self-care. Taking care of your physical and mental health not only makes you feel better, but also equips you to face life's challenges with vitality. 22. Forgiveness. Letting go of resentment. You ever held on to a grudge and felt like it was a heavy burden? Forgiveness is like setting yourself free from that weight. It's about letting go of anger and resentment toward others, Forgiveness isn't about condoning someone's actions. It's about releasing yourself from the emotional chains of the past. It's like saying, I choose peace over holding on to pain. 23. Respect. Treating others with dignity. Respect is like the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. It's about showing consideration and courtesy to every individual, regardless of their background, beliefs, or differences. Respect fosters harmony and understanding in a diverse world. It's like saying, I honor the inherent worth of every person. 24. Optimism. A brighter perspective. Even in the darkest of times, optimism is like a beacon of light. It's the belief that things can get better no matter how tough they seem. Optimism is a positive outlook on life that can help you weather storms with a hopeful heart. It's like having a sunny disposition that radiates positivity to those around you. 25. Responsibility. Owning your choices. Taking responsibility for your choices and actions is like being the captain of your ship. It's about owning up to your mistakes and learning from them. Responsibility means recognizing that your decisions shape your life's course. It's like saying, I'm the author of my own story, and I'll write it with integrity. 26. Balance. Harmony in all things. Imagine life as a delicate balancing act. Balance is like ensuring that no area of your life tips the scales too heavily. It's about harmony in work, relationships, and personal growth. Balance prevents burnout and helps you lead a well-rounded life. It's like saying, I'll juggle my priorities to maintain equilibrium. 27. Focus. One task at a time. In a world of distractions, focus is like a superpower. It's the ability to concentrate on one task at a time, avoiding the lure of constant interruptions. Focus enhances productivity and effectiveness. It's like saying, I'll be present and fully engaged in what I'm doing right now. 28. Humility. Embracing your imperfections. None of us are perfect, right? That's where humility comes in. It's like saying, I'm flawed, and that's okay. Humility is about recognizing your limitations and acknowledging that you don't have all the answers. It's like having a teachable spirit open to learning from others. 29. Adapt to change. Embrace the flow of life. Life is like a river, always flowing and changing. Embracing change is like being a skilled navigator, adjusting your course as needed. Instead of resisting change, you go with the flow. It's like saying, I'll adapt and grow with the ever-changing currents of life. 30. Mindset. The power of perspective. Ever heard of the saying, it's all in your head? Well, your mindset shapes your reality. A growth mindset is like believing that effort and learning can improve your abilities. It's about saying, I can develop and grow through dedication. Your mindset can turn challenges into opportunities for personal development. 31. Self-reflection, the mirror of the soul. Self-reflection is like looking into a mirror for your soul. It's taking the time to introspect and understand your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's like saying, let me get to know myself better. Self-reflection helps you grow, make better decisions, and find inner peace. 32. Acceptance of imperfection. Embracing your humanity. We all make mistakes. It's part of being human. Acceptance of imperfection is like giving yourself permission to be imperfect. It's about saying, I'll learn from my flaws and keep growing. This principle reminds us that perfection is an unrealistic goal, and it's okay to stumble along the way. 33. Invest in learning, the currency of growth. Imagine knowledge as a treasure chest. Investing in learning is like filling it with jewels. It's an ongoing commitment to expanding your horizons, acquiring new skills, and gaining fresh perspectives. It's like saying, "I'll never stop investing in myself." Learning fuels your personal growth and keeps your mind vibrant. 34. Admire others, recognize and celebrate. It's easy to admire someone's talents or achievements, right? Admiring others is like appreciating a beautiful piece of art. It's about recognizing and celebrating the qualities, skills, or accomplishments of those around you. It's like saying, "I see your greatness and I honor it." Admiration builds positive connections and encourages a supportive community. 35. Love unconditionally. A heart without conditions. Unconditional love is like an endless wellspring of affection. It's about loving someone deeply without any expectations or conditions. It's like saying, "I love you for who you are, no matter what." This principle fosters profound connections and brings a sense of warmth and belonging. 36. Cultivate relationships, nurturing bonds. Just as a garden needs care to thrive, relationships require cultivation. Cultivating relationships is like tending to a beautiful garden. It's about investing time and effort in nurturing connections with family, friends, and loved ones. It's like saying, "I value our bond, and I'll make an effort to strengthen it." Building meaningful relationships enriches your life and brings joy. 37. Punctuality, respecting time. Time is a precious resource, and punctuality is like a gesture of respect. Being punctual means valuing not only your time, but also the time of others. It's like saying, "I honor our commitments by being on time." Punctuality enhances reliability and builds trust in your relationships. 38. Graciousness, poise and elegance. Graciousness is like a graceful dance in social interactions. It's about maintaining your composure even in challenging situations. It's like saying, "I'll respond with grace and poise." Graciousness radiates a sense of elegance and maturity, enhancing your interactions with others. 39. Savor moments. Find joy in the present. Life is filled with precious moments, and savoring them is like sipping fine wine slowly. It's about fully enjoying and appreciating the small, beautiful moments that often go unnoticed. It's like saying, "This moment is a gift, and I'll savor it." Savoring brings a deeper sense of contentment and mindfulness to your life. 40. Environmental awareness, caring for our planet. Our planet is our home, and environmental awareness is like being a responsible caretaker. It's about making conscious choices to reduce your carbon footprint and protect the environment. It's like saying, "I'll do my part to preserve the Earth for future generations." Environmental awareness contributes to a sustainable and healthier world. 41. Generosity, a heart of giving. Generosity is like an overflowing fountain of kindness. It's about freely sharing your resources, whether it's time, money, or support, with others without expecting anything in return. It's like saying, "I'll spread love and abundance to those in need." Generosity fosters a sense of community and goodwill. 42. Inner peace, harmony within. Inner peace is like having a calm oasis in the midst of life's storms. It's the ability to maintain tranquility and serenity even when faced with challenges. It's like saying, I'll find solace and clarity in the depths of my being. Inner peace enhances your resilience and emotional well-being. 43. Integrity, the pillar of trust. Integrity is like an unwavering pillar of trustworthiness. It's about aligning your actions with your values and being honest, even when no one is watching. It's like saying, I'll stand by my principles and do what's right. Integrity builds trust and respect in your personal and professional relationships. 44. Calmness, navigating storm with poise. Calmness is like a steady hand at the helm during turbulent times. It's the ability to maintain composure and grace under pressure. It's like saying, I'll keep a clear mind and steady heart in the face of chaos. Calmness enhances your decision-making and leadership qualities. 45. Curiosity, eyes wide open. Curiosity is like a constant thirst for knowledge and understanding. It's the desire to explore, learn, and ask questions about the world around you. It's like saying, I'll remain open to new ideas and endless possibilities. Curiosity keeps your mind engaged and fosters continuous growth. 46. Empowerment, unleash your potential. Empowerment is like a wellspring of inner strength and confidence. It's about recognizing your own abilities and using them to achieve your goals and make a positive impact. It's like saying, I'll harness my potential to create positive change. Empowerment helps you overcome obstacles and challenges. 47. Resourcefulness, adapting and thriving. Resourcefulness is like a Swiss Army knife for life's challenges. It's the ability to find creative solutions and make the most out of limited resources. It's like saying, I'll adapt and find innovative ways to overcome obstacles. Resourcefulness enhances your problem-solving skills. 48. Vulnerability, open heart, open connections. Vulnerability is like opening your heart and allowing others to see your authentic self. It's about being honest and transparent, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's like saying, I'll embrace my imperfections and connect on a deeper level with others. Vulnerability fosters genuine relationships and trust. 49. Balance, mind, body, spirit. Harmony. Balance in mind, body, and spirit is like orchestrating a symphony of well-being. It's about ensuring that your mental, physical, and spiritual health are in harmony. It's like saying, I'll nourish all aspects of my being for a holistic and fulfilling life. Balance promotes overall wellness and happiness. 50. Mindful consumption, conscious choices. Mindful consumption is like being a discerning curator of your own life. It's about making conscious choices in what you consume, whether it's food, media, or products, with an awareness of their impact on your well-being and the environment. It's like saying, I'll choose wisely, aligning my values with my choices. Mindful consumption promotes personal and global sustainability. Before we wrap up this exploration of Stoic principles, I want to express my heartfelt thanks for joining us on this journey. Your time and engagement mean a lot to us. If you found these Stoic principles valuable, please consider leaving a comment to share your thoughts and experiences. Your feedback is greatly appreciated, and if you enjoyed this content, a simple like goes a long way in supporting us and letting us know you'd like to see more of it. If you haven't already, subscribing to our channel ensures you'll stay updated with future content, including more insights into wisdom, philosophy, and personal growth. Thank you once again for being a part of this journey, and we look forward to sharing more wisdom with you in the future. Until next time, may you find fulfillment and wisdom on your own path of personal growth.